Hello, everyone. Do we sound tired?
Shall I read the Rob bit of my book? It's got a good joke in it. Where is it?
Yeah, all right.
But Rob, the robotic operating body, was a cute little guy. He was a robot around 10 inches tall that you could control with your NES controller. And then in the footnotes it says, not directly though. He'd watch your CRTV with you and received instructions from that instead. I assume if you put on cartoons, he'd just explode.
Excellent.
I'd rewrite that bit. It doesn't work very well. I changed that as I read it to make it work better. I put the word instead twice. I should have fixed that. That was horrible. I'm a fucking shit writer. That's a fucking awful piece of trash that nobody in there write. Oh, what's happening?
See, someone put on the subreddit the other day, like a fucking copy of fucking video goes found at charity shop and someone fucking forged your signature on the front of it.
I did like the forged signature. Because I did see that, yeah, Rebecca showed me that. They're like, look, someone's forged your signature. I'm like, all right.
I just like the idea that someone forged it and then gave it to a charity shop.
I mean, I signed the copies for people because I was like, hey, I'm going to sign copies because it's a nice reminder that you met me or that you backed this book. And then some people have started forging it because it's a stupid thing.
Yeah, it doesn't Rebecca's signature resulted. They did it not in a Sharpie.
Dan, is the game you're working on going to be a crowdfunding Kickstarter game? I'm not working on a game. I've got a game in my back pocket. If I ever want to work on games, I can just go, bash, here we go.
In your back pocket,
I have no interest in kickstarting it. However, there will be something we're kickstarting probably this year.
I mean, don't knock early money, Daniel.
No, I'd rather support it with Patreon and make it more consistent there. But there'll be a Kickstarter or some version of that for something we're working on.
Be out in 7 years, everyone. Don't worry.
It's going through a lot of redos and stuff at the moment.
It's fine.
It's hard to test things. I remember that screenshot from How to Job. Don't pretend it even happened. I released How to Job.
Yeah.
It's just under a different name when I released it. It became Systems Nominal.
Yeah. It changed the art style. It became different, didn't it? It's a different game, and that's okay. There is like fucking 14 game documents in the Dropbox.
Yeah, we've got a few things to lean on and do. Systems Nominal was How to Job. The whole point of that was you were supposed to push the keys and send a little man to different departments in an office and do stuff, but it didn't quite make logical sense because he'd have to appear there immediately. And then I sort of was like, well, if we retheme it to be this like keeping buttons alive. Because it felt very intense, and I was like, let's try and make it something that's a bit more intense, and it sort of morphed into Systems Nominal. So that's where How to Job made. I did actually release How to Job just as Systems Nominal.
I thought Systems Nominal was a cute little thing.
I like Systems Nominal. It was a very hard to beat game, and it has an ending where if you understand what I've done, it's there. I think it told a nice little story.
Yeah. It's sort of...
For those of you if you haven't beaten it, I'm going to spoil the ending of my own game right now. If you, because the countdown's going down and it's more and more people are escaping as you're playing, and then eventually it will stop at 1, and you keep playing, and people complain like, "Oh, it doesn't go to 0." I'm like, "No, it doesn't. Why do you think it's not going to 0?" It's because it's you.
It's a clever twist, everyone.
And then the ending says you saved everyone except yourself. Yeah. Haha! Look at that. It was storytelling that you didn't even know was there. Yeah, I thought that was fun. Fuck it, I don't know. There's people waving at me. Who the fuck are you, cunts?
What?
Sorry, I've left the screen on. It's nice. Isn't Bethesda on now? No, Bethesda's done.
Yeah, Bethesda's on the Xbox One. God, could you imagine Bethesda did their own solo show this year? Jesus, God,
Is Systems Nominal available anywhere? We made that in 3 days.
Yeah, it's on the NerdCubed site.
Is it? I'm going to have a look.
If you go to the NerdCubed site and you click the stuff button, there is a zip and torrent for both How to Snook and Systems Nominal.
Oh, it says we're live now. This website's really good.
Yeah, thanks, Oscar and Lolpants. If you're over the live now, look, it shows how many viewers it's got when it started.
I don't think PieFight doesn't exist anymore. They took it off Android.
Yeah, it got taken off iOS, and it also got taken off Android because it needed like a massive update to keep working.
Yeah, you need to consistently update it, and I'm like, no.
Yeah, mobile games.
Oh, you can play Systems Nominal. And How to Snooker, did I make that?
Yeah, it's got a big NerdCubed logo on it.
That was me just fucking around with the thing.
Yeah,
can we change the fucking video games bit because it says pre-order on Unbound?
Yeah, people did point that out. Although I didn't make the website, and I don't know how to do it.
You should sort that one out.
Yeah, I'll sort that out. It's on the fucking list. There's like 70 things on the list.
Yeah.
Along with.
Send me text, Daniel, for what? Hi, Lol Pants. I love you. Is that not? No? Can you not make an APK of old Pi-Fi? I don't know. I don't have any of the original files.
I mean, I think Pi-Fi should stay on the website. Maybe just get rid of the link. Just keep it there as a...
Just keep it there, yeah. Just get rid of the link for Pi-Fi.
Or even add a button that goes to the video of it to be like, oh, look, that's what you're missing out on.
The trailer, which was shit.
Yeah.
Because it didn't show off the game. Haha, I learned a valuable lesson of... Actually, it flashed the game up, but it should have done more. Because it's a very repetitive sort of game unless you get into it. Give me a list of modifications to the site and get done. I haven't been on the site in ages. It's a good little site, isn't it?
Yeah, Oscar did the back end. And
it's just a list of videos. Yeah, you can search them as well. They search it sort of in real time, so you don't have to fuck on with YouTube's ages to search for shit.
Yeah, there's a shuffle button.
Yeah, it's a randomized button, isn't it?
Oh look, I pressed randomized. It came with the PlayStation figures toys video. If I unfilter the toys videos. Ooh, golden flapjacks with DadCubed. Oh god, the old kitchen. Ugh. Ugh. Ugh, yellow. Oh, the old DadCubed. Oh, get out. Shoo. Get away. We don't want you.
Well, I'm going to randomize. What am I going to get? I've got... Oh, my Lego builds. Remember my Lego builds?
I liked that series. I thought it was cute.
I like that series as well. I don't know what the fuck I'm doing with this YouTube channel anymore.
Yeah,
I just
whatever.
feel like I've done everything I can do.
I like you doing quite little creative things. I just think they're the easiest for you, and I think it's more your speed. Because you know, you being loud.
I like streaming. It's done. I'm too tired for it. Like I don't have that energy anymore.
I noticed.
What's your favorite announcement so far? Someone just asked on E3. That's a really good question. Today was probably Slime Rancher 2. I quite like the first one, but that's not a big winner, is it? What was it? What was the first? What's the Summer Games Fest at? Oh, Elden Ring. There we go. Elden Ring. I love me some Elden Ring.
I mean, yeah, I suppose that wasn't really an announcement. That was already announced.
I'm going to rewatch that Psychonauts 2 trailer.
Out of what was only first announced today? Or you first...
Slime Rancher 2. Then.
Out of the things you only heard about in these E3 conferences.
Well, I knew Slime Rancher 2 was a thing.
Yeah, so outside of that, outside of things you've discovered...
I'd heard of it. I'll be honest, there's been no surprises so far, which I think is quite disappointing.
There's only one.
What's the worst game that's been announced? Rainbow Six Extraction Knee Quarantine. Because that looks fucking awful. Do I think any conference has a chance to surpass Wholesome? Yeah, I think Nintendo could do it.
They won't, but they could.
I think they could do that stuff.
But they won't. But they could.
Yeah.
They won't.
Can we rewatch that trailer, Nancy Talks? We can rewatch something. Let's all hang around at Squeaky Chair. I just realised, if Clarkson's Farm's an Amazon Prime thing, we could do a watch party on it.
Yeah? Not now.
No, not fucking now, mate. It's 1:24 in the fucking morning.
Yeah.
Did I get that right? I don't know what time zone is there. Yeah, 1:24. Yeah, it must be.
There's loads of stuff on Prime.
Yeah. Did I see Devolve Digital? No, I didn't bother.
You know what's on Prime? That fucking... You know that... The show with fucking Jonathan Frakes? Where he's like, oh... Yeah,
oh, Star Trek?
No, that one where the fucking meme came from was just like, oh, have you ever done this in the middle of the night? Have you?
Yeah, that one. Yeah,
that's on Prime. That show, which I think is Prime level. There's 2 Partridge films on Prime as well. Not Partridge.
Alan Partridge.
No, not 2 Partridge. There's 1 Partridge film. There's the fucking the other one, the American one.
Alpha Papa.
Yeah, that one.
Good film.
Yeah, they're both on Prime. I like a movie 2's on Prime. Yeah.
Are those games discussed that seem so bad you'd rather stop existing or rather being developed? I'd like to stop everything Ubisoft's doing so they can actually give the creative people in their team control and not try and make these live service events that will literally just be pushing against each other.
Like, I'm bothered more by... I would take bad games over boring games. And almost everything Ubisoft...
a bad game that tries something new.
Yeah, but you know what I mean? How, like...
An interesting failure is more interesting than a game with another game.
But you know how just, like, where Rainbow Six Extraction, or whatever the fuck it's called, is, like... It's mechanically fine, right? It's like...
it's safe. It's the thing
it's
everybody
the
knows.
Thing, and it's just... I just don't care. And then you're watching the Wholesome Director with loads of these little interesting, clever games.
Yeah, because I mean, Ubisoft used to have. Because I used to really enjoy Ubisoft, and I said the conferences were great because they got all these really fun things. We had Drive San Francisco. We had stuff like Grow Home. We had, Watch
Yeah.
Dogs 1, 2, and 3 are all
Oh, they did
very
little
different
indies.
games. While Legion does fail in quite a lot of its things, I mean, the near death of Enid in the final episode is legitimately the most exciting thing in a video game that's ever happened
Oh
to me.
yeah, Legion's fucking
It
great.
was horrible and wonderful at the same time, and I adored that. And I think that only worked because of how they were, how they built that game. Um, and I love these experimental things, but I feel like everything else has got quite stodgy at Ubisoft.
Do you know they've added new accents and new jobs and new skills and stuff to Legion?
To Legion,
Yeah, since release, they've added new
Watch
accents.
Dogs Legion.
Yeah.
Fucking hell, I didn't know what the fuck you were talking about then. I thought you were talking about that prick from Mass Effect. I was like,
No!
what does he need that for?
No, darling.
We got 1080 viewers.
Mm.
I just like that number.
Yeah, that's a good number.
Yeah, no, I don't. I haven't got Legion installed at the moment because I'm shifting through other stuff.
No, it's good to
But
wait. It's good to wait because the stuff they've added is like
yeah,
very
I like
quickly.
it to build up a little bit. I don't like to jump into.
It is nice that they've added literally loads of new abilities. They've added new characters. They've actually, as a free DLC, you can download. You know the old woman from the trailer.
Yeah.
You can download her if you want to play.
Oh,
as
that's
her.
fun.
And they've there's new jobs
It
like
seems to. Yeah, I mean the rent. Yeah, I saw the extra jobs and stuff, and I also saw they've added. You get your haircuts and stuff, and I think that's
nice.
I think that's a wonderful little thing. I love that game. I know some people go. Actually, the overwhelming majority of people I see talking about Legion Online seem to say that it's a fucking boring game, and I just think
you have
I
to
just think
put
you're
work
not
into it to get
seeing.
something out, and if you don't, it'll be boring. But I feel
I
more
don't
on the
even think you
person
need to
playing
put
it.
work in.
No,
I
not
think
work,
because
but
they're
you
like
just
just add. Yeah, just put a little bit in. Think of it as a bit, D&D, and
yeah,
tell
you
that
got to
little bit of the
RPG it.
story.
If you just choose a character for the abilities, don't look at the name, don't look at the history, don't think about who they are, don't
No,
dress
do
them.
that. No, look at that, and then role play that character
No, but
and
that's what
try
I'm saying.
to play it in
If
that
you
sort of
don't do
character.
those things, you'll have a
Yeah,
bad
if you don't
time.
do things,
It's why, like,
it's
when
just
I've done it on stream, and I will spend literally 2 hours like walking around with a guy, like dressing him, and be like, oh, what would he? And like I visit his girlfriend, I'm like, oh, she's into that, and then I figure out his personality, and I learn his name and who his family is, and like I dress him appropriately, and I see what he does on his off
yeah.
time, and you
There's
just
a really fun sandbox in it.
yeah, and you just like
But my big issue with the story of it, like the actual built-in story, was that half of it was really good. Like the stuff with the house that you just stumble across with its dog and stuff, I think was
yeah,
good
excellent.
techno
The
horror.
really good Black Mirror style shit, yeah.
And then the final boss is against a dude in a mech suit, and you're like, this is bullshit.
But that's the thing.
It just doesn't fit.
It's a game that, while it's not perfect, it's doing so much really interesting stuff that I like it.
Yeah, I liked, it spawned our war crime stuff when I realised I could handcuff someone and then just cap them in the back of the head. And I enjoyed, I did love their London. Their recreation of London is stunning. It's a wonderfully stunning fucking thing.
Absolutely wonderful. Doesn't go very
Um,
well, but
Having to put work into games is rarely a good thing, says the Manly Kiwi. No, I don't think
work
that's
isn't the
true.
right word. I don't think either.
Because I think some games require you to do a little bit of setup, but it's a tools game. I like games that are, because people use the term sandbox. I like games that what I like to call toy box games, like Just Cause.
Yeah.
And I think, I just noticed the unit amongst the chat. I like a game that's a toolbox game where you just are given tools and you can set up a thing. It basically, you're setting up your own fireworks, setting them off, and then it's you watch what happens. And I love that shit.
I always struggle with Just Cause, because I think Just Cause 4 is a really good toy box, but I think it's way too open. There's not enough objective. And
I love that because I just fuck on.
That's it. I'm not saying that's a bad thing. It's just not for me. Whereas Legion, I feel, has got a little more structure. I mean, one of my favorite things about Legion is there's a mission where you have to like, it's a Clan Kelly one, and there's like a full nightclub, and there's a guy like sat on the throne, right?
Yeah.
And you have to hack him. And it's like, oh, you got to infiltrate it. So you know what I did? I fucking marked the guy. I waited for him to go home, and then I hired him. I counted, and then Bagsy's like, "Oh, that's okay." I just waited until he clocked off and went home, because he goes home. He's not going to be in the club for all the day. He has to go home and sleep, and he did.
And everybody you see having a name and something they're doing is genuinely a revolutionary feature.
It's so clever.
It's like one of those things that comes out and people There's a bit. Have you seen The Prestige?
Yes.
The Prestige, where Hugh Jackman's sitting in the audience and he watches is it Christian Bale.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, Bale.
he watches Christian Bale do that trick, and the trick where he bounces the ball and grabs it the other side, and he goes, "That was one of the best tricks I've ever seen." But because there was no presentation or pointing out what he was doing, it just fell flat.
Yeah.
But the trick itself was the greatest thing he's ever seen. And I think Watch Dogs Legion is a case of that.
Yeah, I agree with that.
I think it didn't grab people for some reason.
It is a little. It doesn't. It doesn't really give a direct incentive to like get to know the characters. But like we've done that on our own.
Yeah, but we played on hard and permadeath, which was very important.
But even then, I've spoken to a lot of people who just stop playing as a character and then just because they just find someone who got a good gun and they don't really look into them at all. They just treat them as like a vessel where you have to it's a role play game. And like some people are like, oh, I got one character and I did the entire game with them. Don't do that. Switch your characters. Just regularly change your characters.
Learn these other characters. Lose things. We lost what was her name? The builder. Anne, that was her name.
I remember that.
Sue was like, it's not fucking Sue. We lost Anne, and that was because I didn't focus and it fucked up, and she's gone, and I love that because when you get like these roguelike games where you die, they're only like it's sort of an hour and a half run, you know, and you lose and you just start again. But actually, on a 40-hour game, the ability it could just all go wrong.
And you don't. The game doesn't end. You just lose that character that you got really attached to. Is so
good. But if you've lost everybody, then the game just ends and you lose. That's its point to heaven now.
That's it. Like I lost a character called Lydia, and it was fucking heartbreaking.
Yeah.
And it's just that is so. Just, I mean, one of the things I like as well.
Hey, Puppy Nickel.
How many hours do you have in it? Like,
I don't know. It's not on Steam.
I've got 141 hours in it. And I've done everything, and I've filled up my thing. But what's happened as a result is because as you play the game, you just assign more tags to people. If you run over a random pedestrian, they're going to stay in existence and be quite mad at you because you ran them over.
Yes.
And I will, because I've played so much of it, I run into loads of people in the street just all the fucking time who are like, oh, it's the therapist of one of my ex-operatives. Oh, look, it's the brother of a guy I ran over, and he really doesn't want to see me. Or my favorite gimmick. It's not even a gimmick, but my favorite one is that, you know, if you go to like an Albion place and there's a guard who you've beaten up before, they'll go, I know you, and they'll recognize you because you fucking beat them up, and they'll just aggro on you because they know who you fucking are. You beat them up.
I love that the mechanics of that game made me drive carefully because if I hit someone, there was actually consequences for the first time in an open world game.
Not only could you lose someone interesting, but
that could end up being a relationship to someone else. And I found that super interesting, and it changed how I wanted to play the game. I love that.
And you find someone who you're kind of annoyed with, and you ruin his entire life.
Oh yeah, I remember finding that guy and like killing his husband, and then like killing him. And I thought that you could be really fucking dark with that game.
You find someone, you kill the parents, and then like as like a guy and his husband are grieving for the parents, you kill his husband in front of them, and then you beat him up. And when he gets out of hospital, you beat him up
Teddy
again.
Newton.
And then you like wait until he's like, you know, got no friends, and he's just mourning all the time at the thing, and you push him into the sea. It's just the cruelest you could ever be in a video game, because you can just keep abusing this just random dude and ruining his life. And getting him fired from his job, and like.
But see, so that's my vibe from that game. Is when it's that prestige trick. It's me. I'm looking at it, going, people have just missed something incredible here.
Oh yeah.
Like there's something so amazing here, and there's so much storytelling potential. And people are like, oh, look at the storytelling potential of RimWorld, and it's kind of like, I'm just done with crafting games and stuff. But I love, you know, I can fix Watch Dogs Legion really easily.
Mm-hmm.
There's a genuine fix you can do,
right?
Is you have you add a new mechanic, which is a heat level. And if your heat level gets too high, or if people follow you back to your base, you lose the game, the whole game. This is a permadeath mode. And so if you want to recruit an Albion person, you can recruit an Albion person, but if you fuck it up, it's going to really screw your heat level over.
Risk reward.
And so you add a second failure state to the game of being fat. And then it also means that if you're driving away from the place and you run back to the base, your character, you may have to sacrifice a character to keep everybody alive. Or, you know, if you're playing on the non-permadeath mode, you can have just a super, you know, Or just maybe even they'll find you and break in and they'll have a thing, and then you shift to another pub, so every pub can have a secret thing underneath it. You could lose something, another state for all that sort of thing. And also, more negative abilities is a thing I would have gone for. Give every character a negative ability to balance out sort of the other things.
I mean, Captain Cohen said not having everyone be stealth. The thing is, though, it's one of those games you kind of have to choose to not be stealth. I mean, the thing is, right, like, Fallout New Vegas is a perfect one. Like, you can blast through the whole game just doing speech checks and not doing anything else. It's kind of really boring if you just do that.
Yeah.
And it's a game you have to, like, I have operators that are stealthy and hacky, but I specifically kit people out. There's to be a character that just won't have a drone, and they're not stealthy, and they just have a shotgun. It's like, well...
more blocks I would have had. So if you have a character... So basically every level could be entered by every single person. If you've got a spider bot, you can go in this way. If you've got the drone, you go in this way. I feel like you should have to bring other people along. So make it have a little AI team that comes with you.
Yeah, that'd be
to do other bits and pieces. But again, we're getting into a different sort of game here.
They had this like getaway drivers you can get in it, but I've never needed a getaway driver for anything. It would be nice
no, because everybody can drive. Everybody can drive the thing. And more interaction between the actual team, because you're building a team, but you play everybody individually.
Yeah.
I think, but again, it's the sort of thing that if they do a sequel and they use this big idea and do it again with the technology they developed and then kind of add these ideas, I think that's great. But I think for a first go, a concept that has legitimately been like the dream open world mechanic, I think Watch Dogs Legion nailed it.
One of my favourite things that I had in my playthrough was I had a character called Marjorie and another character called Linda, and Marjorie was a smuggler and Linda's an Albion person. And while I wasn't playing as both of them, they got on a fucking Barney. Mm-hmm. Because they just happened to bump into each other on the street, and like Marjorie was doing something illegal, and Linda was like, "Oh no!" And Linda beat Marjorie up and put her in a fucking hospital, and then they wouldn't work with each other or talk to each other again. They kept fucking punching each other if they saw each other. And that was just a thing that happened without me playing, just naturally in the world. I'm going, what?
Yeah, it's fun stuff. Yeah. I liked all that little bits and pieces, and it felt like everybody had their lives outside of just sitting in the base.
And it's a good smoke and mirrors as well, because it isn't. It's just doing it in a really clever way that does make it.
It's just a big, clever database.
Yeah,
that's
it's
all it
so
is.
smart, and it doesn't seem to call people. I've noticed. Like I'm still bumping into people who are like, there's the very first operator I had, I got rid of quite quickly because I wanted to find someone in the world. But that very first operator I got that gave me at the start, I bumped into their husband, like in the last time I played it, 35 hours in, and the game had just kept that person's entire family pottering about in the game for 135 hours.
Yeah, because if you see someone, the game doesn't really register. If you scan them, they'll add a little bit more. If you then recruit them, they add a lot more, and they start to flesh them out. Or if you interact with them in some way, like hit them with your car, they get added into the big database.
Yeah.
I wonder if they said how many they can... I'm going to look up briefly if they've said how many people they can support.
It's a fucking lot, because I've not seemed to have hit a limit yet. It's so good. It's not a perfect game. It's just London's beautiful. The mechanics are really just... I feel like half the time I spend playing that game, it's just hiring interesting people and playing as them and just kind of getting a feel. Because everyone moves differently and everyone fights differently and talks differently and has different retorts, And I just... Like, I found someone who... She punched a police horse to death. And she was just really posh. And I just had her running about, just clattering people. With absolutely no finesse whatsoever.
Yeah.
And I think you've got to kind of, be willing to be loud with someone if their personality is loud.
Yeah. There's a lot of things you do about it. I think, Watch Dogs Legion was an experiment, and a big AAA experiment, which we just don't get really anymore. Which is it's why I kind of fall away from AAA games, apart from Sony's ones, because they see, they're like, fuck it, we'll give you God of War, where we'll just try and revolutionize storytelling. We'll give you, it's Ratchet and Clank, where we'll revolutionize visual fidelity and literally, here's a fucking Pixar movie.
Yeah.
And I think all of that is, that's beautiful stuff. But then you get your... I don't know how to get excited about a Halo game because it's just going to be a bit more of a story that I don't give a fuck about.
It's the same thing, but it's a little bit prettier than the last one. It's not doing anything interesting. Whereas
Yeah.
like Legion felt like a really proper next gen game, 'cause it's doing stuff that like I mean that game
Yeah.
when I play it, it's maxing out my CPU and GPU just the whole time. It's using the entire thing to just
Yeah.
render and think about everything, and that would not have been possible like a few years ago
Yeah.
even. Um,
I hear that they might be adding a harder difficulty mode to Legion. If that happens, I'm going to do a pacifist run on that higher
good fucking
difficulty.
luck.
Yeah. But no, someone's just saying that AAA games has a formula. I disagree. I think each company has their own way of doing stuff.
Yeah, they do have their own formula. Ubisoft is live services. EA is just
Yeah, but live service games are just designed
yeah.
to take your time up, which is the worst thing. This is why I something like Destiny or The Division or whatever Bungie made. I can't remember the name of because it was so boring. What's the name of that fucking game? Jetpacks,
Oh, Anthem.
shooting Anthem.
Yeah.
I feel like those kind of games when they're like, oh, this is a game designed to put hundreds of hours into. I just have no fucking interest in because the 100 hours aren't like a creative 100 hours. They are. Bungie made Destiny. Oh, BioWare. Fuck me. How the mighty have fallen, Yeah. A game that wants 100 hours of my time and it's gonna
Doesn't earn it.
Yeah, I mean, something like Destiny could be single player and you could get through all the content that's in it, level up, become really powerful. But it's like what happened to the Avengers game. It's just slow. It's designed to be slow, so you play over and over and over and over again. And I have no interest in playing games over and over and over and over again. See you later, my soda.
Dull as shit, especially because there's like a billion fucking games.
Yeah, it's like Watch Dogs. Not Watch Dogs. It's like Valhalla, which I've played a lot of, and I really enjoy Valhalla. But I just play it. I'm like, I just need this game to be 75% sure.
Yeah, because it's just like, oh, you want to make a single iron chess piece? Well, mine for 70 hours. I'm like, I don't want.
Yeah, and it's not like you're getting interesting content. So something like Binding of Isaac, which is one of the rare games I've put hundreds and hundreds of hours into.
You're always finding new stuff in that, though.
It's because you're always getting new stuff and you're always unlocking new things, and it's constantly pushing and going. And once I finish doing all that, I'll stop playing the fucking thing. And something like Factorio, I've put a lot of hours into, and that's a game that
It's a puzzle game, if anything, isn't it?
Well, it's just a game I didn't finish until I played it for hundreds of hours. That's why. Shall I have a look at what my most played games are on Steam?
I'm looking.
See what I've. Yeah, there's a lot of.
All games, dog. Sort by.
I put a lot of time in Little Big Planet, but different, But I like to finish a game and be like, "That's done now." I beat Factorio. No, I did. Quite recently, I beat Factorio, and I was very happy with myself.
Part of the weird things I have though is like I just don't. I guess it's something I would love to understand if anyone chat, because I know a lot of people will play the same game for like 2,000 hours, and I don't understand why when you could play loads of games in that time that are all doing something interesting, because there's loads, and like we as a society we have such easy access to like loads and loads and loads and loads and loads of games.
I have 1,479 games on my account, apparently.
I have
my most played games, all right, on this lovely machine of mine. Number one is Fallout 4, which is understandable considering I did a 76-part series on it.
How many hours?
258.
Oh, yeah.
Which is, I think it's a game that takes about 258 hours to fucking play everything through.
Yeah.
I've not put... I did a little bit of modding to it and stuff, but I really, that wasn't a game where I felt was wasting my time. I felt like it was always giving me new story and things.
Brief note, Digger. It's not. We didn't say big interesting games, but interesting games. Yeah. And the fact is, especially if you're on PC, where a lot of the context we're talking about playtime is that, yeah, you can get like a billion games on a Steam sale for like £5, and like we're not talking about the Sony PS5 like £70 discussion anymore. We're talking about games you can get for like a few quid.
Yeah, but I mean, I just don't have the interest. Gaming's not. If I couldn't afford, I used to, when I couldn't afford games, I would play a game and put it down, and I wouldn't go back to them. But I did play games that had more content to them. That's why I fell in love with GTAs and stuff. So my second most played game is Factorio with 207 hours, and that's just how long it took me to beat the fucking thing. And then Star Trek Online, 170 hours.
Oh, that's interesting.
I just mostly use it to chat to people.
What? Where's GU5?
It's 2 more down. So Binding of Isaac is 129 hours, but I've got a lot on the Switch as well. And then GTA 5 is 128 hours.
Okay.
But that again is mostly videos.
I mean, my top's GTA 5 and then Fallout 4.
How much on GTA 5? I bet you put a lot.
It says I have 1,000, but I definitely don't have 1,000. GOG does a weird thing when it tracks your time, and it sort of sometimes accidentally adds, like, sometimes accidentally doubles it, so I think it's probably half that.
Oh, you're on GOG.
Yeah, because it's saying, I think I've probably got maybe, like, 400, 500 hours.
I'm not on GOG.
And I think half of that time is probably just it being on in the background, you know, when you open it.
My biggest thing, and if we're going to do it that way, I've got 1,080.3 hours in something.
Oh, fucking hell.
On Steam, but it's not a game. What is it?
Steam VR.
Steam VR. 1,080 hours I've played VR for.
Quite high.
That's quite a lot, isn't it?
It's quite a lot.
But that's loads of games. That's loads of games.
I mean, yeah, that's the system, isn't it? Oh, actually, wait. So yeah, I've got GTA 5 and Fallout 4. Then Red Dead Redemption 2, weirdly. I played the online of that a lot.
I did not have Red Dead Redemption 2.
Sea of Thieves, Satisfactory. Sims 3. Siege, Kerbal, New Vegas, Legion, Flight Sim, SnowRunner. And we've already got to games I've gotten fairly recently. Like
mine. So after GTA 5, I got Planet Coaster.
Yeah.
I did loads of series on it. Spelunky, which was my go-to lunchtime game for a year.
Yeah.
So that makes sense. Sea Skylines, again, a series. Left 4 Dead 2, I Live with Rebecca.
Yeah.
Terraria, 80 hours. I don't remember those 80 hours.
Yeah, I don't.
At all.
I definitely played that a bunch. I don't remember.
Yeah.
I feel like
FTL. I've played FTL for 80 hours. How good is that game?
It's very good. I do feel bad.
Saints Row the Third, which I've beaten twice. Just Cause 3, which I've beaten twice. Dark Souls 3, which I've also beaten once. And then... I've got Gary's mod, 61 hours.
If our hours in Minecraft were tracked, they'd probably be the highest, I feel.
Yeah.
But it's not, so we don't.
I'm going to see what my lowest one that actually has playtime is. This is going to take a while to scroll down.
There's a lot of games that I put off for like fucking a few minutes.
Yeah, I want to find out what I've got. I've got a lot of few. I'm already in like at the halfway point. I'm already in like a lot of 1 hours.
Oh yeah, I've got 60 hours in Terraria, and I literally remember. Yeah, cool.
So my lowest game is Dyson Sphere Program. Dyson Sphere Program and Ni no Kuni 2 are my lowest 2 games.
Really?
With 0.1 hours, because Dyson Sphere Program, I was like, oh god, this feels really unfinished. I'm not going to play this yet. And Ni no Kuni 2, I quit after the first cutscene.
Oh, I found my lowest played game. It is Wyatt Derp, one of the Digital Homicide games.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, that's good.
That's pretty good.
I'm trying to because I'm doing that series where I'm playing loads of old ones. I'm getting playtime up in loads of old games at the moment. But like,
but okay, hang on. Let's put something in comparison. Let me just go to here. This one, that one.
Yeah, again there.
So, where is the? Oh shit!
I have 12 games that I have over 100 hours in. I have 12.
Quite a bit.
Yeah, that's not too bad. I feel like a lot. Again, I feel like GOG is sometimes overestimating some of these. Like, for example, Rainbow Six Siege. I don't think I have 240 hours in. I've played it quite a bit. Not that fucking much. I've read the 2 feels really high as well. Far too high. 290. I've not played 290 hours of Red Dead Redemption 2.
So 9,312 hours total in something. 9,312. I think I just said. I closed it.
In all your games combined?
No. In something else. What is it?
It's a game, is it?
No.
Software.
But on my computer, something that's been tracked. It's not even a software. 9,000 hours. What have I spent 9,000 hours on?
It's not software.
I mean, it's a bit of software, but it's a specific bit of a specific software.
Oh, God. Oh.
Yeah, a stupid idea got it. It's the Paradox. 9,000 hours.
But 9,000... What? Wait.
9,000 hours.
With it just the document open.
Yeah.
Is that? Didn't know that was tracked.
Yeah, if you right click on it, sometimes it's got a little tracking thing.
Neat. Well, that's a lot.
So I don't know what that is in days. I assume it'll be.
I wonder how much it'll work out
I
if paid per hour while doing it. It's probably less than minimum
I
wage.
shut
at this
my
point.
computer down. I shut my computer down at nights.
Yeah.
So 9,000 hours, 388 days apparently. Yeah, that seems about right.
That's quite a lot.
A document in software, it opens up because the software would be Word, which would have a lot more.
Yeah.
Yeah, so just over a year in days. That's not bad yet.
That's a lot.
So there you go. Yeah, I don't have a lot in games, but I think actually if you added all my Steam games together, it wouldn't come to that.
And to be fair, we're not tracking Switch games, which we've played a lot of.
Switch games sort of try and track themselves, but they also.
Oh, well, technically, Switch games are tracking in the background. It doesn't tell you properly.
Yeah. Oh my god, there's still 900 people watching this. I thought we'd be down to like 3 by now.
Yeah, no, right? Fucking people are bored of shit. This is more engaging than half V3. I mean, if I go into my play activity on my Switch, I can see that like I've got over 95 hours in Hades.
Yeah.
And I've got over 70 hours in Animal Crossing.
So, Gaming Ant says, Dan, you shit your computer down at night?
He does. He sure does.
I sure do. I need to record a podcast for Patreon. I just don't want to.
About shitting?
No. I just need to record a podcast. Someone said, this is a live podcast now. And I'm like, oh, yeah, I really need to.
I like that you hesitated there. You went, when I said about shitting, you went,
Well, I've been talking about shitting in all the previous podcasts, but I don't talk about Ford. It's sad.
Yeah.
It's sad. My guinea pigs. Come on, it's sad, man.
Someone said,
He's back with us now, with the in the urn, which always feels a little better when he's like physically back with you. Do I have any more building things in the ready to go?
I think there's 2 left.
Okay, good. I don't have to scroll anymore yet.
Hang on, I can check. I can check the video majigs. There's part 20 and 21 that aren't out yet, so.
Lovely jubbly. Okie dokie.
Once a week.
No rush. Oh, we just hit 8 hours of streaming, apparently.
Hey!
Whoop, whoop.
Yeah.
Series is clearly dead. What were 2 episodes in the thing? Where's the Hitman series? Yeah, it was a permadeath and I died.
Yeah, you don't want to do any more of that, do you?
It was a kind of a thing I was doing on a row, and I can't remember what happened, and I was like, oh, I'll go back to it maybe at some point.
You will.
Maybe I'll stream it.
Definitely won't.
Maybe I will. There's so much good shit to play right now. It's kind of in a lull. I don't like lulls.
There's a lot of
I'm enjoying
stuff.
that Nintendo Game Maker thing, though. I must admit, I like Game Maker kind of clumping together things.
It looks fun.
8 hours, that's almost a year. Thank you to everybody who's subscribed and shit. I've not been reading him during these because it's just a lot.
Yeah. But
Did you stream you do a Just Cause 4 completes? I thought I did a Just Cause 4 completes.
You had a story?
Just Cause 4
I think you
had
did
a
a
story,
Just Cause 3 complete, I think.
I remember I asked when I went to play Just Cause 3 early, because I played it like months before it came out. Like, I was the very first person to play it and do that video on it, which is a fucking amazing thing. I said, why has it still got a story? And they said, because it needs to have a story, otherwise it won't sell here, and here to these demographics, and it needs this to sell to these, and it needs this to sell to this.
The story's not even trying, though. It just is very tacked on, isn't it?
I'd love to write a Just Cause story. I would do a great job.
One that properly takes advantage of the very clever mechanics. It never really does.
Yeah. Yeah, because you know what I would do? I'd make a prequel.
Yeah?
I'd make a prequel and I'd take Rico back to his car driving days and I'd make it just a stunts game. I'd literally be like, I'd make it a film set game.
You'd make it
I'd totally change. Yeah, I'd make it, basically, yeah, and it would be, you'd go around doing lots of filming days and the main story things were the main stuff, but there was extra little bits and pieces you could do pickups for and just dumb. I mean, you could go really silly with it. Have like this Hollywood, have like an island that says, hey, you can come film here and you won't have to pay tax and you get all these reimbursements. And basically every Hollywood movie at once flies there. And so you're just bouncing between movies and movies and movies.
Yeah, you're just doing like Fast and Furious shit.
Yeah, and it's all just stupid.
Shit, yeah.
Yeah, all this kind of stupid stuff. But no, I wrote the Just Cause film screenplay. I wrote Just Cause film screenplay because I got bored one day.
Classic.
Well, 2 weeks it took. Yeah. But I wrote the... it's really good. I was really happy with it. I mean, I know they're making one at the moment with Jason Momoa playing Rico. I didn't have Jason Momoa. I didn't know who was going to play it. Antonio Banderas. That's who I think I had in my head. Yeah, I think younger Antonio Banderas. But I loved because it's a horror. I wrote a horror where you you do it from the dictator's point of view as everything sort of explodes around him.
Oh, you told me about this. I remember this. Yeah.
Yeah, Rico doesn't really show up in it very much because he's seen as this monster who just crashes planes into the distance and shit, and it's all lots of explosions and silliness and.
You do like stories that are told from the perspective of someone running away from something else, like you just see explosions in the background.
I think that's the story to tell.
It's a fun story. It's very grounded, isn't it?
I don't think Rico character develops throughout the thing, but I think having a dictator who has won this thing and then finds out someone's coming for him and it all crumbles around him, I think is a more interesting story.
Oh yeah, oh definitely.
Plus, it's cheaper to make if you don't follow Rico.
You see explosions in the background occasionally. that was what the original fucking.
Sounds like Doctor Who. I've written a lot of Doctor Who in my time as well, so I'd love to write more.
That's what the original Cloverfield was, wasn't it? It was just done cheaply because they didn't really show the monster ever. They was just.
I love the original.
Oh, yeah,
what a great fucking film that was.
10 Cloverfield good as well. It's not
the Cloverfield Paradox is an absolute piece of fucking shit. Whoa,
yeah.
That's a bad time. Doctor Who versus Rico. Who would you bet on?
Definitely Rico. 100%.
No, I don't think so. Why'd you write a screenplay for this video game? Just cause. Yeah, what on Parasite 2? That's basically the plot. You ever talk about a film I did a Square Enix? No, sometimes I just write things for me.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, so the opening... Because it opens with a different dictator. The opening scene was a dictator doing a big speech, and it's one of those dramatic speeches, and it's a big monologue as the dictator walks down the podium up to the podium, and there's loads of people there, and he's just ranting, big fists, ranting, raving. We are the strong, we are anything. And in the background, at one point, you just see a little dot appear in the sky, and he's ranting, and the dot just gets bigger and bigger, and it's just a fucking plane coming at him, and it just crashes into him, and that explodes, and we crash to the Just Cause title. And that's the opening of the film. And then it's the other dictator finds out that Rico's now coming for him, and he's like, "Oh fuck!"
Did you ever see Knowing?
Knowing
Nick Cage.
Like Nick Cage. Oh, there we go. Yeah, no, is that the one about the trees?
I legitimately don't remember the plot, but the only thing I really remember
is that the happening. Oh no, the Knowing's the one where the world explodes, isn't it?
I think so, but the main bit I remember from it is when he's like going around. He looks to the right, he hears the dot to the right. You just hear this thing, and it's only his reaction, and you just see him turn, and you see this fucking plane crash into a freeway.
I like that.
Yeah. Just have that, but like a film.
But then it's the paranoia and the other thing. Basically, the only problem with it is you kind of need to have played Just Cause, but I wrote it for people who've played Just Cause.
I mean, yeah, it's a fan film, isn't it?
Yeah. And Nose Troll says, I always want to see a story from a guard and a villain's lair point of view. Yeah, well, fuck you, because I wrote that. I wrote a 6-part BBC radio sitcom about the minions who work in an evil genius's volcano lair, and it was almost like it was proper sitcom stuff. It was romance and it was silliness and it was, the standard sitcom fare. And it was called Minions, if you want to know how fucking old it is. It was called Minions, and it was it was fun. I liked it. I did a lot of that.
I mean, that it's that Ryan Reynolds film that's coming out.
Free Guy.
Yeah, that's got that sort of vibe of sort of someone looking at shit happen in the background, but it doesn't look like it's going to be very good. But
no, because he immediately jumps to the foreground. Yeah. You know what films? What films do they piss me off? They introduce an interesting world and then they immediately take you out of it.
Oh yeah.
You've got like there's a film I watched and it was like one of the biggest examples of this, but it was very slight. George Clooney flies around the world a lot. And his whole thing is, I fly around the world a lot, and I don't really have a home, and I just sort of do all these business things, and everything is sort of ready and made for me. And in the first 10 minutes, they establish this. I'm like, this sounds great. And then they just immediately go, and now you're ending it, and you're going to retire. And I'm like, no, go back to the cool thing you set up. Go back to that. And that was I like that sort of thing. This film sounds great. I love it to be made. Yeah, I like writing stupid shit. But no, Minions was great. I got a lot of positive feedback on it and stuff. I got a lot of positive feedback on the Paradox, if anybody cares. But
there's a lot of shit you've written over the years, but you've just never shared. It's excellent.
I delete. I will not. It's not. I never share. I delete. I finish writing it and I delete it.
Or and the very rare time you share, actually, I say share. By share, it's you describing it. Rather than,
Did it actually play on the radio? No. It was just it was to see if I could write for a radio. I prefer writing scripts because dialogue is really easy to write. I'm that guy. I'm sorry to other people who struggle with it. I find dialogue really easy. I find very generic dialogue to be the worst fucking most cardinal sin you can do. So if I hear any really boring dialogue, it grates immediately. But I've got a good ear for dialogue. I've got a bad ear for descriptive work, which is why the Paradox is taking so long.
Yeah, I think
but
you can get help with that as well if anything's tightening up a bit afterwards.
Earlier this month, I wrote a script, which I can't say what it's for yet, but it was it's for an hour-long thing, and it took me 10 days.
Oh, that.
Yeah. I mean, I want to do a rewrite of it. There's the second rewrite of it, but it's pretty good. And I haven't entered the Big Finish competition this year, 12 Cat. I have an idea for it, but the deadline's really soon, and I haven't started. But yeah, no, I think I'll enter it. I've got an idea for the Big Finish Doctor Who thing. I won't say what it is yet. I never said what last year's one was. I thought I had a pretty good one last year.
Did you not share that at all outside of it?
No, I forgot to share Slan Red, who's my character.
Oh, I quite like that.
Yeah, it was quite fun, wasn't it? But it was a bit, I don't know. It was an old 10th Doctor story that I called, like a grander story that I tried to shrink down, but I don't think it worked very well. Whereas this time I've got a really fun, sort of full-on comedy idea that I'm going to do.
I mean, that'd be fun.
Dialogue is easy if the character's strong enough to show in space. I can write dialogue for boring characters.
Oh, you
I can give character through dialogue. I really... Or maybe I'm just really good around characters, I don't know. I spend a lot of time crafting characters. I run really, yeah. If you played a role-playing game like D&D, no, it's not my thing.
I tried it once, like last year, and I had a good time with it. I did like I got invited to like a one-shot, and it was like 6 hours long. I mean, I didn't take it very seriously.
The classic story of me being uninvited to one that I wasn't even invited to because the GM was like, I won't be able to keep up with you.
Well, this is the problem.
So please don't come.
I sort of, the people I was playing with, they were taking it kind of seriously. I definitely wasn't. And like they just sort of let me do what I wanted to, even though I was being really annoying. It was like a heist one, and I ended up hiding under a fucking bearskin rug and like fucking wiggling along the floor like I was a bear. And it's kind of fun, but it's a bit too long. I find D&D a bit too long.
That's my issue with it.
The one shot was like it's 8 hours, and I'm like, God, that every week would be a fucking nightmare.
Yeah. Yeah, dialogue's easy, man. It's. I know I'm annoyed to that, but yeah. Dan, are you scared to write a disabled character, both mentally and physically? No, absolutely not. I just have to do my research with everything. I don't think there's anything I couldn't write about, but I think I'd have to do the research.
Yeah.
And also there are some things where if I'm doing a collaborative thing, you know, sometimes it's easy to pass stuff over to other people. Like me and Ashens wrote a sitcom together. Which was, I'm going to describe it to you now. I think we've talked about it before. We might just talk about it on Patreon or something.
Was this the space one?
You know, Avenue 5 or whatever that piece of shit TV show is. Yeah, it was that, but it was British and it was a lot smaller scale, and it was more claustrophobic and more horrible. And we were really happy with it. But then Avenue 5 came out and absolutely took all of the ideas and would never get made. Yeah. Why wouldn't you GM down? Because I don't have the fucking time.
Also, you would get very easily distracted.
Yeah, I don't know. I like writing stories for larger groups of people.
Yeah. I think D&D kind of sounds interesting in that it's sort of half improv rather than writing explicitly, but it's still a lot.
Have I watched it? Alf stuff says, have you watched Inside Number 9? No, because it's horror, mostly. But I do have all the scripts. I've got these beautiful bound versions of the scripts that I got for my birthday or Christmas, whichever one was the most recent. What fucking month is it? June. Birthday. Yeah, I got these beautiful like seasons 1 to 3 or 4 or 5 or 6. Is it 2 seasons per? I can't remember what it is, but I've got the scripts and I read the scripts.
That's fun.
So if there's something I can't watch because it's horror or something, I do watch the thing. It's slow turning into the podcast. No, because John hasn't fucking turned up and complained about something yet. I find it scary. There's a lot of horror bits to it. There's some fun. I've seen a few episodes of it. I've seen the one where there's those thieves trying to steal that painting. I thought that was really good. But there's some stuff that's just way too much for me.
There's some stuff like fucking. There's that show. Oh god, it's that alternate history show. That's an Apple TV one. It's like the best thing they do, technically. So only if you
Man in the High Castle. That's an alternate history.
no,
Film.
it's
Oh,
one.
that's Amazon, isn't it?
Yeah, no, it's one where the Soviets land on the moon first for Apollo 11, and the
One
space race
small
continues.
step, mankind,
Mankind,
something
mankind, yeah,
for all mankind.
for all mankind, yeah, and that's
There you
supposed
go.
to be like a drama. It's a horror. It becomes a horror, and I hate it. It's the worst thing. This is horrible. Someone gets burnt in a fucking like a burnt in an Apollo a second stage module, and someone gets flung off into space. And horrifying.
When, on that sort of note, there are some things just don't pop in my head because of ADHD, man. You got to deal with me.
Yeah, no, it's fine.
Sometimes I'll watch something and I'll go, "That is way beyond what I will ever be able to do." And The Martian is a great example of that. I watched that film and I was like, "That film is legitimately instantly become one of my favorite films of all time." I cannot cope with how perfectly structured that film was.
I like The Martian, but I never thought it was anything.
No, it's so good. It's so perfectly pitched and paced, and oh my goodness gracious fucking me! If you've never seen The Martian,
I need to rewatch it again because I remember not liking it that much when it came out, but I know it is good.
yeah, I think you should definitely watch it. Oh my goodness! I brought the book for the second one, but I've got so many books it takes me a long time to read them. Also, I'm a Doctor Who magazine subscriber, and I like to keep up with that. So,
Someone mentioned Interstellar. It's no,
I've never seen Interstellar.
Oh god,
I'm not a Nolan fan.
I don't think you'd hate it, but at the same time, I think you'd watch it and get really frustrated at it. It's got some really good scenes, and there's a lot of clever stuff with time, and it's very. It's got this Nolan self-gratuitous thing. I mean, did you like The Prestige? You mentioned The Prestige earlier. Do you like The Prestige?
Yeah, I like The Prestige.
Because that's the thing. It's like before Nolan got too ridiculous, I thought the films were pretty like. Do you like
my issue with The Prestige is the final twist is nowhere near explained well enough. Because it's his he's got a twin brother, and he goes, "A twin?" Like questions it, but he should have said. It should have been Christian Bale that said, "Oh, I'm his twin."
Do you like Inception?
I like a lot about Inception. I don't think I like Inception.
That's, I think, what you'd have with Interstellar.
There's a lot of bits of it. I'm like, that's really neat. The music stuff. There's a lot of detail in there that I like.
Because Tenet does it as well. I think you'd watch Tenet and go, "Oh, there's some interesting stuff in here," but you wouldn't like the movie. I don't think you'd like it.
Yeah, everything I've heard about Tenet is.
But it's got a lot of. And I'd be so curious to hear your actual thoughts on how it does it, because it's got some really clever time shit going on in it. But it's also a mess.
Yeah, but it's also very short, and it doesn't have enough time to sort of set up.
Well, you say that. It's somehow too short and also too long. Which is a very Nolan problem.
I tell you what, I am enjoying writing a book because it's the sheer long form nature of it is letting me really explore some stuff. We will have to have big conversations because I'm bound to don't go above 100,000 words. I'm definitely going to.
There's a preference.
I mean, so my favorite. I mean, if like Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy is 46,000 words. At 52,000 words, my Act 1 finishes, and I'm like, well, okay, so it's going to be quite a long book, which is weird for stuff like that.
First go.
Oh, are there any polyamorous or non-monogamous relationships in the book? No, there's very few relationships in the book, I'll be honest. I'm not into sort of. There's a few that are mentioned and things and bits and pieces, but there's races that have interesting stuff I've written, but I don't think so. Yeah. I saw Godzilla vs. Kong. I don't think it had a script. It definitely had a script, and it was like Monkey Punches Lizard, and that was a great film. Have you ever seen Time Crimes? It's a good low-budget Spanish sci-fi film. I haven't, but I was talking to Ashens, I think, yesterday, and we were talking about a TV show, and I just want to bring it up because I can't remember the fucking name for it. So I'm going to have a look at the Crime Traveller. Have you ever seen the TV show Crime Traveller?
I have not.
Awful, but so fun. But also not fun. But if you're ever writing a book about time travel, I say watch Crime Traveller to see kind of how not to do it. But also they really care about how they're doing it. Very weird. Basically, to summarize it, time is sentient-ish. And if you try and make a profit, it understands that and won't let you do it. But everything else is... it's... Oh, God, yeah. Yeah. The Paradise Palace is 7,000 words shy of Prison of Azkaban. Oh, it's way more than that. Yeah. It's a long book, I must admit, but it does a lot, and it's. I wanted to do grand epic scale.
Yeah, fuck it. Fuck it.
Yeah.
You got the freedom to because of the pre-sales. Pre-sales.
Can you name a few must-see sci-fi films? Says 12 Cat. Her, I like Her a lot. Becca made me watch her, and I was like, oh, this is very good. I am a huge fan of, and the name is just fucked off from my head. So yeah, I like that.
Who's in it?
You are
Who's in it?
actors.
Ah.
Yeah, there's loads of actors. Oh, tons of them, if anything.
Right.
Um,
How's the android one? Yeah, Dr. Carver. It's
yeah. Have you ever seen the Lonely Island film, Pop Star Never Stop Never Popping?
You made me watch that. It's very good.
That's such a good film. Fucking hell, that is such an underrated film. That's one of those ones that's going to be a cult classic that I love. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness.
I looked through my film library. It's not a sci-fi film, but it's like a couple of years ago they took all the footage from Apollo 11 and made it into a full film. Basically, it's kind of half documentary, half actual film. It's all like 4K, fucking Apollo 11 footage. It's amazing.
Yeah.
I
can't remember what I was going to say. I had a film. Oh, A Scanner Darkly is a science fiction film I very much love.
A Scanner Darkly.
A Scanner Darkly with Keanu Reeves and Iron Man, Robert Downey Jr. And it is rotoscoped, so it's drawn over live action.
Oh, that.
And it's a Philip K. Dick story, and it's about drug use and undercover people. And I really think that's a beautiful, great film.
Yeah, no, I haven't seen that. That is literally on my list.
That's a wonderful little film. I'm trying to think because I've just
content,
brought the complete works of Jacques Tati because of a fucking donkey video of all things. What's a really good resource to learn about ADHD? Smallest waffle. I talk to my therapists and doctors. That's my sort of.
I explained how Dan worked to my new therapist, and she went, "Oh, it sounds like he's got ADHD." And I went, "Yeah."
Any example of a time travel story that actually works and doesn't break its own rules? Well, Back to the Future just has weird rules, but it sticks to them.
Yeah.
Times just takes a little bit of time to catch up for some reason. I don't know, I'm trying to find something that properly reps autistic people. I mean, Our Bed in Community, I think, is the closest you'll get in an actual. Yeah, in an actual not focused on them as sort of a thing. I think it's a wonderful thing. I'm trying to think of now a movie that sticks to its own time travel rules properly.
Time travel. Okay, would time loop films count? I'm assuming not. Like Groundhog Day and Live Therapy wouldn't.
Oh, and like Happy Death Day and Bermuda Triangle. What was that Bermuda Triangle film called? Was it just called Triangle? You ever see that? If you want to see how to not do a fucking loop in time
Live,
film.
Die, Repeat. It's not. It's actually proper sci-fi. It's like Groundhog Day, but it's actually got science fiction rules. In that, like, the aliens can reverse time if they lose, but then Tom Cruise gets that power, and the rules are a bit iffy, but it's really good. Live, Die, Repeat.
About Time is a very good not sci-fi film about time travel.
I had that on my list. I was going to watch it on a train once too. I was like, don't watch it, you'll cry.
Don't watch it on a train.
Yeah.
It's the film that's made me cry the most out of it. But I'm not normally a big crier at films or anything really.
Yeah.
I cry at there's moments that I cry because they're so good and they're so well done. That's what seems to set me off because I'm fucking weird. But there's like the I Am Iron Man will always put a tear in my eye because I just love it so much. But About Time just made me cry. That's a hard film to watch. But it's also a funny rom-com about time travel. And then it will beat the shit out of you.
Oh, sounds so fucking good.
Ooh,
I kind of was going to watch it and then the pandemic happened. Like, I want to wait until I'm feeling a bit better.
Yeah, it's an interesting,
I don't have many time travel. I'm just looking through my movies. I don't have really many time travel films.
Has anyone heard about Primer? Yes, I've seen Primer, which is a film that treats the viewer with some sort of disdain. How dare you try and understand my plot? Fuck you. Have you ever cried at a video game? The end of Shadow Colossus got me when I was a kid. It was a real, well, not a kid, but when it was 2006 or whatever. I was a teenager. It was a real turning moment in sort of how I viewed video games. It really broke me. And it was the bit where you turn into the Colossus, and you sort of fight them and you can't, and you get that sort of view from the other side, and it really made me sad. I love that. I haven't watched Bo Burnham's one, not yet.
That's so good. I think you have to dedicate an evening to that.
Yeah. Have you ever seen about the movie Ghostwatch, as in the pipes? That was Ghostwatch, wasn't it?
What?
Pipes with the ghost. Pipes the ghost.
I, I don't remember names of shit. I have to look it up, but then once I see something in it, I go, oh, that. I don't remember.
Pipes was Ghostwatch was a live Halloween thing the BBC did one year where they killed off a whole bunch of celebrities and stuff, and people thought it was live, and it was genuinely terrifying.
Yeah, I've seen that.
It was a wonderful show. Wonderful little scary thing. Inside Number 9 did something like that recently, and they faked technical difficulties and sort of. Inside Number 9 is one of the best things on TV that I have to know afterwards if it's something I can watch because they lean into horror. But they did a live Halloween episode and they had technical difficulties. The sound sort of dropped out and like the BBC thing came up and was like, oh, sorry, we're having technical difficulties. So we're just going to re-show an old episode. So they started re-showing an old episode, and instead of it just being a normal version of the old episode, like scary ghost faces started to appear in places. Like it's not a normal scene that people have seen like hundreds of times who are fans, and then seeing like scary ghost face on the thing, and then it turned into sort of a live but not really sort of thing.
I wish you fucking had a
Beautiful
Letterboxd account.
I don't have time. I'm trying to watch.
I just like it for ratings.
All
Not
of
even
fucking
reviews,
Doctor Who at the moment.
Rate,
That's
just,
what I'm watching.
I like it just to give it a rating at the bare minimum.
Craig Chow's acting very badly. I know, but it was fun, wasn't it?
There's a movie. There's a silent voice always makes me cry at the start. A Japanese anime film.
Oh, I never heard of that.
Half an hour. It's about a deaf girl. And she just the first half an hour is just this deaf girl getting really, really bullied in school. It's the saddest fucking thing. And then it's her growing up and then her bully sort of realizing he was terrible as a kid and then trying to reconcile that, but also she's traumatized. It's really good, but it's actually quite sad. It deals with a lot of very difficult themes and suicide, which is fun. But that makes me fucking...
It's fun.
No,
that's what fucking E3
that makes me fucking bawl the first half an hour because it's the most simple thing of just watching this poor little deaf child get bullied for being deaf, and it's just very sad.
Appy, yes. Oh, App Eyes, that makes sense. Says favorite Doctor Who episode and why is it Heaven Sent? I do like Heaven Sent, but it's from my least favorite era of Doctor Who, which I think just shows how good that episode is. That's a great time looping episode. I'm sorry. I'm unfortunately when it comes to Doctor Who, I'm on team Clara can get in the fucking bin and really made me not watch the show anymore. There are still episodes of Capaldi's run I haven't seen. I just haven't bothered to watch. It's he's the only like modern Doctor that I've not seen every episode of because I just can't fucking be bothered with Clara. And then Bill turned up and he was still a miserable fucking thing. Sorry, Oscar. He says first time chat. What's wrong with Clara? Clara was a character who they introduced to be a mystery. Then they solved the mystery and realized they hadn't added a character yet, and she kind of was just a bit of a cunt. Really, and just unenjoyable. And the relationship with the Doctor wasn't like the usual buddies, let's go and be space. It was kind of strained, and it was kind of like I always said it was like, you know, it went from Adventures of the Fun Spaceman to traveling around with your divorced dad who keeps asking how your mum is. And I, you know, is that how's our new boyfriend? Yeah. And it felt like that tone for a while. So I got as far as like the episode where he's like in the school, and I went, I'll come back later. And so I've watched only bits of Capaldi.
I like that was when I tried to get back into Doctor Who, was that fucking Capaldi series. And like the episode that made me no part was just that fucking, oh, the moon's an egg. And I went, oh, fuck me.
Oh, yeah. I've never actually seen that episode.
Oh, it's fucking atrocious. God almighty.
There's some I've never seen. Some I have seen. But one of my favourite everythings from Doctor Who's in that era. So I've Missy. I love Missy.
Yeah, no, Missy's really good.
Mainline says I never got the Clara hate. I just never liked her.
Cunt.
She was just this horrible person. Like, the Doctor's like the Doctor, and she's like, I'm going to threaten by throwing his keys into a volcano if he doesn't help her. And it's like, she's just kind of a dick.
And she's always got this exact same emotion, like literally all the time somehow.
Yeah, and she's not like the emotion between her and Danny Pink. I've seen more sparks between like two feathers resting gently against each other, and about as much emotional weight. Like there was nothing there. Like fucking hell, they really were just. There was horrible writing, and they seemed to hate each other, Clara and Danny Pink. And then they're like, we're fine. And then he gets killed in the world's most silent car accident on a phone. And then he's like, I'm sad now. And then it's all that miserable bullshit writing that I can't stand. I much prefer Doctor Who being like, da, 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 da. You know, if I Am the Doctor isn't playing, what's the fucking point?
Hey, chat, just as a brief aside, because I was looking through my thing, I've got a good sci-fi recommendation. It's sort of near-future sci-fi that I recommend to Rebecca. It's called Upgrade. It's a weird little thing. It's very gory. It's a bit Black Mirror-y. It's very gory. It's low budget. It's fucking amazing. The concept is a guy gets completely paralyzed with the neck down, and he gets fitted with a special computer, which controls his body using his spine, and it plugged into his neck. But basically, his head tells the computer what he wants to do, and the computer tells his body what to do. So it's like if he says, "I want to walk over there," he doesn't control his body. His body just gets up and walks, and he's along for the ride basically.
People seem to like that in the chat.
Yeah, it's really good. But then he can tell it to go in self-defense mode, and his body will just kill people for him. And when it does that, there's this amazing shot where the camera locks on his neck, like completely locked to his neck. So when he leans backwards, it tilts back with him, and the entire fight is locked to his neck. And it's the most robotic, amazing thing. And he cuts someone's fucking jaw off, and it's amazing. And it's gory. It's very gory. Oh, it's amazing.
Crimson Aya made a point, and I've remembered now why I loathe Clara. She convinced the Doctor to let a bunch of kids burn to death. There's an episode of Doctor Who where all the trees suddenly explode out everywhere.
Oh, that one.
Yeah, all the Forest of the Night, which is the worst episode of Doctor Who I've ever seen. It's the worst episode of television I've ever seen.
I can't believe I got back into it during those episodes.
Yeah.
I'll get back into it now. It's the worst thing ever.
So I'll just give you a quick rundown. The Doctor, who is an orphan because his whole planet is dead at that point. Oh no, that's the only time his planet's been alive. But he doesn't have family or anything. It's implied that he didn't have family for very long. And you've got Danny Pink, who is an orphan, and we see Danny Pink sort of grow up and everything. And then Clara, these trees appear, and there's a big something's about to happen, and everybody's going to die. And Clara, who looks after these kids, the Doctor's like, "Oh, I'll just take the kids away, and we'll take these kids to safety." And Clara's like, "No, I don't want them to be orphans like you." And you're like, right. Why? What the fuck are you talking about? That's also an episode that features the moral of don't take pills if you're a child, and the way to stop a tiger from attacking you is to flash a torch briefly at it. Yeah. That is the worst fucking... It's the worst episode I've ever seen because you didn't sit through Discovery Season 2. I have.
Yeah, we both have sat through all 3 seasons of Discovery, and oh my god.
Yeah. And basically it was like, it's like they'll miss their parents, so just let them die in a fire. And I'm like, actually, at this point, I genuinely hate Clara, and I stopped giving a fuck. And then she's just everything. When you hate a character, and everything they do really puts you off. Like every time I see Joseph Seed in that Far Cry stuff, I'm like, well, I'm not buying that. Yeah. Like I just hate that character, and it's not like a positive hate. Like there are some characters in fiction that I hate because they're evil bastards, and I love how much of an evil bastard they are. See any character that Amano Iannucci's ever written in the thick of it. I love, Rebecca. What's her surname?
Shit, hang on.
The actress, Rebecca Thingy, who plays, and he said Nicola Sturgeon, Nicola Murray. Who plays Nicola Murray? Nicola Murray is the most hateable character
Rebecca Front.
In television. Rebecca Front. Beautiful name. Beautiful person. Very funny. Very talented. Nicola Murray is the most fucking hateable character in fiction, and I love her to absolute bits.
Yeah, you just wanted to
because
fall
she's
off a bridge.
So hateable. And the episode where she just gets her comeuppance and it all falls apart for her, I watch it all the time. It's my favorite episode, and I love that shit.
There's a movie.
Gus Fring's another great example because I really hated Gus Fring, and I really wanted his fucking face to explode.
There's a movie on Amazon that came out a little while back. It stars what's her fucking name? It's got Peter Dinklage in. Hang on, I'm gonna have to look it up. But it's basically like the main character is the most loathsome person ever. I Care a Lot. It's called, and it's got Rosamund Pike and Peter Dinklage, and they are both absolutely heinous human beings at the core. And the entire film is just them being absolutely, and you hate them. And the reviews for it on Amazon are actually quite bad because a lot of people are going, "Oh my god, I hate the character so much," because they're, oh my god. Yeah, but it's weird because
The show needs to know you hate the character. That's the difference.
they do. It does know, but I think what's kind of difficult about it is the entire movie. The protagonist is hateable, and you don't want her to win, and you don't want the person she's against to win either. You just want them both to lose.
Yeah. Well, like so. It Takes Two. I hated those two characters because the game didn't know that they were as hateable as they fucking were. But someone like Kai Wen from Deep Space Nine, people in chat are going to go berserk. I even dare mention the name. Is one of the most hateable characters, but I love them because the show knows they're the bad guy, and I love that shit.
Oh, fucking her! Oh, fuck her! Oh my god! I didn't recognize her name. Oh, I could see her fucking face in a stupid little gold robe, and I fucking want to push her out the airlock.
Umbridge is another good example. Umbridge is a wonderful character to hate.
Yes.
But someone like Clara is, you're not supposed to hate them, but I do, and I hate everything they do.
Like, oh, look, she's quirky, you should like her. It's like, no, fuck off.
Yeah. Everyone hates Cohen.
Yeah.
Oh, dear. Yeah, you need to love to hate them. You know, it's like with wrestling, isn't it? There's characters that I love to boo. I go, oh, MJF is a fucking bastard. And I'm like, all of his fucking things, I'm like, fuck you, MJF, you prick. And every time he gets the shit kicked out of him, I'm like, yeah, fuck you. But I know he's just a great fucking wrestler.
Yeah, because you need to be good to be hated. You need to be good to really sell that shittiness, don't you?
Yeah, I mean, he's also sold when Brody Lee died, and he was doing the thing. He's just going around his son, and they had Brody Lee's son in the front. Brody Lee's son punched him, and he sold it like a fucking bullet. Oh, it was wonderful. He's such a good thing. Incidentally, Brody Lee's son hasn't been in AEW for the cutest reason. His grades started to fall, so his mum was like, "Nope, you can't hang out with your wrestler friends until you bring your grades back up."
Beautiful.
Fucking strength, that is. That's fucking
beautiful.
Strength. Yeah. Like someone like Clara, who I hated, but then the show assumed I loved and kept going. It's like when in E3 they're like, just bringing it back to the point. It's like during E3 when they're like, wow, everyone's excited for this trailer. Here's the trailer for fucking Bland Shooter 75, and you're like, oh, fuck.
Yeah, shut the fuck up. Like,
yeah. It's just Kate Fishy says, for what I've seen, Umbridge is the second most hated villain in the Harry Potter fandom after J.K. Rowling, of course. Correct, yes.
Oh, God. I think I hate both hate characters. Yeah, as I remember, a lot of villains in the TV already. They don't make you hate them enough, or they don't make you. Either they a lot of them are just very bland. They are not hateable enough, or they're not empathetic enough. And either way, you just end up with this boring, vague blob. Just like,
you never want a boring blob. No. You never want a boring blob.
I don't do that. Even some of the best films do that. Like fucking what? I really like Dredd. You know, the newer Dredd film with Carl Urban in.
I've never seen it.
Oh, it's really good. And it's
I didn't know Carl Urban was in Thor, in the Marvel franchise.
Yeah, he's the fucking look at my stuff, you know.
Yeah, I did not know that was Carl Urban.
I'm kind of annoyed that out of all the roles Carl Urban could have had in the MCU, it was that. I wanted to have something better, but he's amazing in Dredd, and Dredd's really good. And it's Lena Headey. I can't pronounce her name because she plays what's her face in Game of Thrones.
Tim.
Yeah, she is an absolutely excellent villain in Game of Thrones because they write her in such a hateable, vicious way, right?
Yeah,
and she's brilliant as a villain, and she's terrible. She's not very interesting in Dredd.
Yeah,
like, and you're like, ugh.
He's good in I'm enjoying the boys as well.
It's so great. He's just that's his Dredd character basically, but with more swearing. More saying the word cunt.
Friendly neighborhood and be gold to cut as well.
Who?
But Deep Space Nine did characters like Garrick. I think is one of the finest characters in all of fiction.
So good.
Like Garrick is unnecessarily good. Like he's too good for fucking Star Trek. Oh, Gilmorel says, "How do you feel about the latest iteration of the Master?" I don't like Sasha Dewan's Master because I loved Missy, and with having all that character development be literally wiped away so you can go back to being wahaharing villain is heartbreaking. So and it's not heartbreaking in a story way, it's heartbreaking in a shit writing way. Big Finish have tried to fix it with they've added an extra sort of regeneration between the two, but yeah. Sash's Master is all over the shop, and it's kind of boring and doesn't really do much. And it's also Judah Chibble's writing just an exposition machine. That final episode was dreck.
Oh yeah, Terribly Hope. Wrote that time the Doctor used Nazis to beat the Master variant. I do remember that.
Twice now.
Yeah.
Twice now. Actual Master Nazis, and then called the Daleks.
Yeah.
I haven't really rewatched a lot of Jodie's stuff, but it's because Christian is just not very good at writing. However, I am listening to the Big Finish stuff. I've just bought literally this morning as a treat for getting through E3. I bought Out of Time 2, which is Peter Davison and David Tennant, which I'm very excited to listen to. And the Blu-rays I've started to get because they've stopped doing the limited edition ones and started doing more general versions of them. So I've just bought season 12. I'm watching through season 12, which is Tom Baker's first season for the first time ever. I'm watching Ark in Space at the moment. I'm halfway through it, which is lovely. I love it's a slow and it's old and it's silly and it doesn't quite work and it's naff and I adore it.
That's a fair
And I
reason.
do. Yeah, I mean the special effects, Gordon Bennett, they're awful.
I mean, even the newer
They're
Doctor
so
Who special
awful.
effects are pretty shit. I mean, that's a
Yeah.
hallmark of Doctor Who. Is it just always has shitty special effects no matter what. Even the biggest budget Doctor Who will have shitty special effects. Which is kind of it's part of its charm in a weird way, I think.
Yeah, I think the Jodie's lots had some pretty special effects and stuff, but I think the show looks quite boring and flat at the moment. I don't think there's the TARDIS it's all right. I just want a bit more. I want to hang around in it a little bit.
But it doesn't
See you later,
feel very
Dr. Carver.
homely, does it? It doesn't really feel like someone lives in it.
No, it doesn't feel like a. I was on here because someone posted a clip of Dan being attacked by a wasp on Reddit. Oh, fuck's sake!
Hilarious, excellent. I need to point out how it was like it was perfectly done. It almost felt acted.
Well, it was only. No, I saw it was. I noticed it was a queen wasp, and I was like, oh shit! I want to get that the fuck out of here because we've been infested before.
The scream was perfect. I just need to.
Oh, I'm gonna have to listen to that now. I don't remember screaming.
Oh, you did scream. You went ah, and then you could hear you like pottering away. You want a room, Mike?
Yeah, it's more fun. You see, I was right.
No, you were right. I wasn't. I never disagreed with you.
What subreddit's it on?
I imagine a NerdCubed one.
Dan bravely fights a wasp. I'm gonna listen to this now. Here we go.
I'll play the sound on the stream chat so you can hear it. If you
Oh
want
no!
to hear it. What's the sound? Sound? Oh, it's muted. That explains it. Why's Firefox muted? There you go. Yeah,
He's gonna try and cut them.
That's
Yeah!
quite good, isn't it?
it's playing. That's a happy compromise.
See, this is.
Yeah, that's very good.
Look at that.
Hilarious. Excellent. You kind of sound like a fire alarm.
Oh dear. I don't remember screaming. It's been an 8.5 hour stream so far,
It's
Matt.
been 8.5 hours. It's very hot.
Yeah, it is very hot. I've got a room that I've just got an air conditioner on in, and I've left it going all the time. So I'm gonna go and I'm gonna lay in there and be like,
Yeah.
Senior Milk 34 says, "Hey Daniel, I've been thinking about buying a PSVR recently and was wondering if your opinion on it has changed since your initial video." No,
It's exactly the same.
It's really hard. Some people get it set up nicely, and some people will have like a wallpaper that it won't deal with, and it will be fucking shit. If you can get it set up nicely, it's a nice, cheap way of getting into VR.
But the new PS
however,
soon, it'll be probably at the same price.
Yeah, what I would say is I would borrow it off of a friend if you can, and test it in your room and see if it works.
And either way, it's probably worth waiting for the new one anyway.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Do you think you'll do a Fuck Yeah Doctor Who again with the new series? Yeah, I think so, Friendly Neighborhood MB. It won't be on the day the episodes come out, though. I will say that now, because I don't have a license fee anymore. I've stopped paying the license fee. All I watch was Doctor Who, and honestly, I'd rather just buy Blu-rays when it's done. So we'll probably do an episode by episode recap, but it will be because I think they go on sale on Amazon. You can buy the videos elsewhere.
No, they go up exactly the same time they air.
Yeah, so I'll be watching. I think there's a few days of delay actually.
Depends on the show. I'm at Planet Earth went up like literally the second.
Yeah, I'll find somewhere watching it, but I'll see it on where I'll find it where I can buy it and I'll watch it a few days later. So it won't be like straight away, like bam, but it'll be Thoughts on on season 4 of Sherlock. I wasn't a big fan
Gets
of
really
Sherlock.
pretentious very quickly.
I enjoyed. See, I was, I saw that I was at the premiere of the third season. How it was done is one of the finest opening sequences, and I love that episode. But the more they lent into Mary, the more it became about spies and shit, and that's just not interesting. And they got kind of caught on that character, which was disappointing. And I feel like at that point, I had, for me, Moffat had that strong woman problem of he'd written Clara and he'd written Mary, and they felt artificially strong, and it just doesn't appeal to me. But at the same time, you've got people like he writes like River Song and Missy, who are two of my favorite ever female characters in fiction. So
He's very hit
when
and
people
miss,
are like,
isn't he?
I think everything is.
Yeah,
I think if you're writing that much stuff, I think you were gonna sort of stuff. But
I think it's good
Moffat's
to have
always
some
going to be my
misses.
boy. I'm always going to love Stephen Moffat, because he really just writes interesting shit. And even if it goes batshit at the end, like Dracula did, I still think it's interesting.
I never watched that.
No, not many people have.
Nah.
Have you read Once and Future? It's a book that does King Arthur, but gay in space. Interesting.
What?
King Arthur, but gay in space, obviously. Yeah, we could have played Desert Bus during this.
No, we could. No, I'd rather not.
I've always wanted to do a Desert Bus relay where me, John, and Matt do 3 desert buses in a row and swap between who's doing it for charity. So one person drives 8 hours, and then the next person drives 8 hours, and the next person drives 8 hours.
I need to say something, right? Whenever Darren comes up with any idea, like there's literally anything, the idea happens, and we go, "That's a good idea," and then we forget. We don't ask John. And then a week later we're like, "Hey John, do you want to do this thing?" And he's like, "Oh, if it's only an hour," I'm like, "No, it's a week." And it's like, "What?"
Cool.
He's like, "Oh, busy," and I'm like, "John, we're doing it. We've already said." And he's like, "For fuck."
Yeah.
Like crew video, we're like, "Oh, it'll only be a 3-hour recording," and it took us two 10-hour recordings.
Yeah.
I think John gets annoyed at us over time.
Yeah.
It's fine.
I think Sherlock. Actually, sorry, just thinking about Sherlock. I think it devolved into a show where intelligence was a superpower, and it became a superhero show.
Which is boring. I like proper investigation.
Yeah.
You don't want a proper people are noticing you.
I liked the Jimmy Savile episode. I thought that was very good. I think that's season 4, sort of in the middle. I thought there was a lot of fun stuff in there.
What's your favorite movie or TV show that did proper mystery and detective shit? Doesn't have to be an actual detective, but someone has to figure out a mystery and
I mean, I mentioned earlier The Lost Room. I think is a great science fiction mystery thing. I always loved A Town Called Eureka, and that was sort of mystery of the week, wasn't it? But that was always very fun and I really want to watch that show again.
I've not heard of A Town Called Eureka. Wait,
you've never heard of A Town Called Eureka? Well, it's just called Eureka in America, so you might have heard it as Eureka.
Colin Ferguson?
Yes, Colin Ferguson. Have you never seen Eureka?
No, somehow.
Holy shit! I am jealous of you.
Looking at
Will
the list of
Wheaton
people
ends
in
up
it.
in it.
I've definitely seen that poster before. For it, I've definitely heard of it,
It's got a great theme,
but I've never watched it. God, it's on.
Oh shit! Eureka's great. Eureka's the reason I never finished my comic.
Ah.
Because I was doing a bit where we were going to go back in time and change something and then come back forwards, and then they could never change it again because that's just not how time travel works. And then they did that exact thing, and it really took the wind out of my sails. And basically, I mean, that's the shit that Paradox is going to be covering as well, because I love time travel.
It's only on fucking... It's on the UK, it's only on Now TV, but on the US, it's all on Prime.
I'll tell you what, when this pandemic is over, I'll just let you borrow it. I think I've got it on DVD, so you can...
I mean, I just use a VPN.
watch the old
fine.
DVD. It's very good.
I'll watch it. I'll use a VPN, because this stream has been sponsored by...
It's not. You're not allowed to use VPNs to do that. That's illegal, and it annoys me that
It's
everybody...
not illegal. It's against the terms of service of the provider, but no one gives a fuck. I don't even think Netflix or fucking Amazon give a fuck.
I think it's illegal.
It's not
and you'll
illegal.
die.
It's definitely not illegal.
What was a good mystery show? I liked the first series of Heroes. Had a good, strong mystery. It wasn't a detective.
I saw that when it fucking aired.
It just fucked its ending up and then was crushingly awful in the second season.
I don't remember. I saw that when it aired. I don't remember anything about it.
There was a show called Threshold that nobody in chat will remember, which was a great alien invasion show. Koiki Dance and Tsushima Hazel Victory Lap. I knew you'd get it. Now, Threshold was an alien invasion show about basically there was a boat in the middle of the ocean, and this weird 4-dimensional spaceship turns up. And then they go, ooh, and then they kind of turn into like not zombies, but like they're infected. And this symbol, which is like a windmill, but 3 prongs and they're curved with like, and it's made out of little circles, was sort of started to appear everywhere. And in as the first series goes on, they're sort of beating it, and then they realize it's in like plants already, and like tomatoes are growing with this symbol on it, and they're like, "Holy shit! It's infecting us. It's really infecting us." And it's like it's just everywhere, and it appears like on stuff. And then like they beat all the aliens back, sort of. And at the end of the season, they're like, "Let's hope that's the end of it." And the camera pans out, and you see the city, and the city lights are in that pattern. And it never got a second series.
It's not available to watch anywhere.
No, it won't be. That was Threshold. It was a bit gory and horror-y, but I really enjoyed it.
Weird cast. Just Brent Spiner in it. Fucking
Brent Spiner was like the lead in it.
Yeah.
Brent Spiner's
Peter
incredible.
Dinklage's fucking in it as well.
Yeah, it's Peter Dinklage's first role that I ever remember.
Huh.
But here's the thing, right? So I went to conventions when I was at uni and stuff, and I like meeting people, and I went to one that basically hadn't planned itself properly. So I got to talk to Brent Spiner for like 20 minutes about Threshold, and how like the second season was going to be like Mad Max. Like it was going to skip the alien invasion. It was basically they've won because the first season was in it, and it was just going to become these like rebels that would slowly beat back the aliens, and they'd have to sort of rebuild the human race and stuff.
Fun.
But it was a really sort of a mad show that nobody really watched.
I desperately want to go to a convention because I want to meet John Delancey because apparently he's just the best. He's just apparently the most lovely person to meet.
Brent Spiner was really lovely and would just chat to me for ages.
He sounds nice.
It was a wonderful, 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 wonderful thing.
Oh,
there was other shows in that era. So there was like The Lost Room, which is 3. If you can ever find that anywhere, is that on anything?
AP Single says all the Thresholds on YouTube. God, it is. The entire season's on YouTube.
Oh, sweet. That's a fun sort of thing. The Lost Room, if you can find that, I don't know if that's anywhere. That's 3 episodes long. That's one of my favourite sci-fi weird things I've ever seen.
God, all of these shows are from 2006. All of them.
Yeah, because me and my dad used to sit down and watch Sky One Sci-Fi.
Ah, that explains it.
And it was kind of they had like ones that were made for sci-fi, which was like, what if dinosaurs were people? That was one. I can't remember what that was called. So I don't remember like dinosaurs evolve, but they can sort of pretend to be humans. And yeah, you had stuff like Eureka, you had stuff like Chuck, you had stuff like Battlestar Galactica.
Oh no, I was gonna say it's all on Prime. It's all on Amazon, not Prime. It's all you can buy.
The Lost Room's on Amazon.
Yeah, but it's not on Prime. You can buy it on Amazon.
Oh shit! Hang on.
Yeah, you can buy it.
I mean, I've got it on DVD.
It costs. Yeah, each episode's $1.90. It's $5.67 to buy it all. It's only 3 episodes, isn't it?
Yeah, it's only 3 episodes long. It genuinely, I really loved it.
It's got the screenshot of me. Wait, why do I recognize him? What's his name?
Isn't that like Thingy from The Office?
Oh fuck! Who? What's his name though?
I don't know. It's got Peter Jacobson in it, who I love.
Oh shit! Oh my.
What's my favorite sitcom? Better Off Ted, which is the funniest television show ever made.
Well, I recognize him from House. Peter Jacobson.
Yeah.
Better Off Ted.
Have you never seen Better Off Ted?
Again, I'm looking it up because I'm bad with names. I may have.
I think it's on Prime Video. I think it's one you. Oh, actually, it might be one you have to buy. Yeah, you have to. Oh, hang on, no, it's on Prime. Wait, it's Better Off Ted on Prime. Oh, season 2's on Prime. Oh no, you have to buy it. Boo. Season 1. What was season 1? Oh, you have to buy it. Boo. That's the funniest show ever made.
Oh, it's all on Hulu in the US.
Oh, Better Off Ted.
Yeah. If
you are in the US, watch Better Off Ted. It is the funniest television show ever made. I always thought of it as it's quite Portal in its corporate culture, but it's literally just this. It's about a company called Viridian Dynamics, and it's about Ted, who's this really nice guy who works at a company that's clearly evil. It's a clearly evil company. They've got, at one point, they go to like this hall of abandoned robots, and there's a Dalek in it. Like, their thing. And it's his boss is Veronica Palmer, who is one of my favorite ever characters in fiction, played by Portia Del Rossi. And it is just, it's mad, and it's very, very silly. very funny, very silly funny. That is my homework for you. Watch Better Off Ted. Watch The Lost Room. Does anyone remember Pushing Daisies? I loved Pushing Daisies. What a show Pushing Daisies was.
You've watched a lot more TV than I have.
I like TV. I don't really like films very much.
I'm the opposite. I'm not a huge TV guy, but I like films a fucking lot. And we balance
But yeah,
it out.
Better Off Ted is. Does anybody here sing Santa Clarita Diet? A show that was apparently it's more horror than my thing. Rebecca loved it, but a lot of people really liked Santa Clarita Diet. It's the same guy who wrote Santa Clarita Diet, but he did a comedy sitcom before it. So if you like Santa Clarita Diet, then this has got some of that sort of DNA. But it's a very different show.
Drew
It's just comedy.
Barrymore.
Who?
The Drew Barrymore was in Santa Clara.
Fun fact, wasn't Jay Harrington and the previously mentioned Colin Ferguson, weren't they two of the leads in the Coupling US pilot? Was Jay Harrington in that? Colin Ferguson definitely was.
Yeah, it's so mad. Not a fucking Scooby.
Coupling the American TV. Oh god, did he get a whole series? Oh yeah, no, Colin Ferguson, Jay Harrington, and also was it somebody else was in there? No, I can't remember. I did not know they did 10 episodes of that.
He did a show. Looking here, he did a show called Andy Richter Controls the Universe.
Yeah, it's not as good.
No,
But he's learning. You can see, like, Better
Yeah.
Off Ted, if he's learning.
I do like Andy Richter though.
I do like Andy Richter as well. And it's kind of the same sort of thing, but
Yeah,
Better
it
Off Ted
looks
is the
similar.
better version of it.
Oh, he was,
You know.
he was the writer of a Johnny Knoxville film.
Is he?
Yeah, untitled Johnny Knoxville
Nice.
project. Narrates his adventures he had growing up with his family. Yeah. All right.
Nice.
What a weird set of things.
I'm trying to think of other shows that I watched that were Desperate Housewives. I adore.
I mean, yeah.
A very funny show. Very sort of silly. Very Scrubs. Everyone watches Scrubs. I'm trying to think of more obscure things that I like.
You do like a lot of obscure things.
I love the show Chef. The TV show Chef, not the TV show of the film Chef. The TV show Chef.
That's gonna be hard to fucking find.
With an exclamation mark. And is it on Amazon? No. I'm going to look for
You said
Chef.
chef show. It comes up with the chef show.
No, it was a 1990s
Yeah.
TV BBC show.
Oh, there it is. 93.
Who does it star?
Oh my god, it's Lenny Henry.
It's Lenny fucking Henry. And he plays a character called Gareth Blackstock, who is a proper, like, arrogant as fuck chef. And he just basically fails at every other part of his life. And it's just a wonderful comedy show.
Do you like me some Lenny Henry?
Yeah, I think it's my favourite thing Lenny Henry's ever done. It's such a minor little thing, but it lasted like 3 seasons because the BBC.
Yeah, it's not available straight. You can buy the DVD. You can't even get digitally. Which is
I like Chef. I've got it on DVD. I'll show it to you when you
Of
come around.
course
It's
you have.
quite old, but it's
You have every single fucking thing on DVD, which is
I love-
a complaint.
physical media.
Yeah,
Num,
no, you
num,
do.
num, num, num.
I just fucking.
I just literally, as we've had this conversation, I've just been notified that my copy of Godzilla vs Kong is getting delivered.
Oh my god, when the cinemas fucking reopened, they were showing that in IMAX. I was like, I want to see it in IMAX. They only showed it for fucking 5 days. And like, it's gone now. It's like, wait, you put it. So angry about it. Just,
I know Lenny Henry's the comic relief cast is on tomorrow. Yeah, sorry, what's that? Ultimatro. There, I'll get that right. But Chef's really fucking good. What else? Oh, Barry's a show I want to watch. Sean in Space. I'd like to watch that. That seems like my kind of thing.
Old one, new one. Is it an old show or a new show? That is.
It's new. Barry's new. It's about the hitman, I believe. Which I'd quite like to watch.
Bill Hader.
Yeah, he doesn't love Bill Hader.
I'm a bit mixed on him.
Chair squeaks as loud as ever. Thank you.
Speaking for years.
It's always squeaking.
Well.
It's my second version of this chair.
I know, because the other one kept
Chair
squeaking
2.0.
as well.
Yeah, it did. I missed Threshold. That was such a good show. The what else was the? I'm trying to think of other things.
I'm looking at movies that I've rated.
I'm more of a TV person than movies. I'm trying to think of something obscure that I can give you to go off and watch. That is a good time. I mean, everyone has seen Vicar of Dibley and shit like that, even though they're mostly Americans now.
You say
Vicar
that.
Di-
You
Vicar
say
Dib-
that. I imagine there's a lot of them.
Oh, come on. Everybody here's seen Vicar of Dibley, right? Everyone here's seen MASH, right? And Carby says Lost Room, done. Boom. Australia here, like... Well, somebody's put no. I have. Yeah, I haven't. No.
No.
No. MASH
Seen
is hard,
what?
yeah.
I haven't.
The Vicar of Dibley.
No.
British people say
This is
he...
the thing.
Yeah,
This is the thing. I think people... I think I'm at the youngest cut-off who would have seen it, and it's sort of airing. I think anyone who's younger might not.
Vicar of Dibley is one of my favourite TV shows. So Dawn French plays a vicar
So good.
who goes to a small little town called Dibley.
It had from
And it's
94
just-
2000, everyone.
There's been episodes more recently.
There's been
isn't there?
special ones, but that was when the main
special ones,
series launched.
But it is, I think, the finest British sitcom.
It's perfect. It's very British.
Yeah, I mean, a Thick of It, I think, comes close for me.
Yeah.
Maybe The Thick of It's better, but not really a sitcom, The Thick of It.
You
If
know,
you've never seen The Thick of It, you have to see The Thick of It.
You know, Vicar of Dibley is a very pure sitcom.
Vicar of Dibley is pure sitcom, but it's also the sitcom with the... It's written by Richard Curtis, who did Blackadder and Love Actually, and Four Weddings and a Funeral, Notting Hill, and Yesterday. That's his most recent
God,
one.
I wish I liked... I genuinely... I wish I liked Love Actually. But
Oh, of course,
fucking
Fools
hate
and
Love
Horses and
Actually.
Best... Sorry, a stupid ID. Fools and Horses is the best sitcom. I'm not even going to deny that. If it has canned laughter, I can't watch it. There's no canned laughter in the Vicar of Dibley because it's filmed in front of a live audience. It's theatre.
Yeah, I'm fine. I'm fine
British
with live
TV
audience stuff.
doesn't do canned laughter. American TV adds the laughter in after post. British TV is filmed in front of an audience. That's what the laughter
And
is.
it's good because it lets the actors actually slightly pause and not just talk over the laugh track.
Yeah.
Which
Oh, the ideal copy, Green Wing, is a fucking good show as well.
I watched that all at yours on
Yeah.
my own, and I distinctly remember just feeling like I was going mad.
You had to watch it. We trapped you in the living room until you finished watching it.
Yeah, I just watched
No,
it
so
all.
there is laughter in it. I quite like laughter in the back of shows, but as long as it's been filmed in front of people.
Yeah, all right, it gets a bit too fucking ridiculous. I mean,
But I
American
will
shows
say,
do it
like,
over the top
I
as well.
went to see the IT Crowd, so I went to see an episode of the IT Crowd season 2 get filmed.
Oh, you have to see Graham Lind in person. Jesus.
I didn't see Graham Linehan in person. I got to see Matt Berry in person. It
Oh,
was
you
very
lucky
fun.
boy.
It was the episode where Matt Berry comes into it. So I watched. I was in the audience.
Excellent.
Yeah, I was in the audience for that and Denham jumping out the window.
Oh, you
Which I
lucky
think is one of the
bastard.
Funniest, best episodes.
Oh, fuck it is.
And the bit where they're in the funeral, I distinctly remember the bit where they're in the funeral, and he says, "What you want to say is, go up to her and say something nice, and then move on." And he says something nice, and then goes and taps her and goes, "Move on." But when they did the setup, we all laughed because we could see it coming a mile away because Graham Linehan's not the best writer in the world. So yeah, we laughed at the thingy up, but that gets edited out. So the laughter is edited. People will go, actually, it's not a laugh machine. We've got people here. It will still be edited, and American ones edit it much more heavily. And you can actually, there's some American shows where you can hear the same laughs and people map them and stuff.
I remember, because Red Dwarf dropped their laugh track in 2 of the later seasons. I remember it really put me off it.
Ah, no, they don't. You see, darling, they still filmed it. They filmed it, showed it on the screen to an audience, recorded the laugh track, put it on the TV with a laugh track, and the DVDs don't have the laugh
Yeah,
track.
that's it.
And it does not work.
No, it's
because
really
they've just
fucking
taken it
weird.
out and left all the fucking pauses for laughs.
And I'm used to. And it's 7 seasons in by that point? 6, 8?
It was the seventh season, I think.
So it's 6 seasons in by that point. So there's 6 seasons of you've watched this long fucking show with constant laugh track, and then all of a sudden it just feels silent, and it's really jarring.
Yeah,
And I had to stop watching it. I couldn't watch those seasons. It was really weird.
yeah.
Oh.
It's I love Red Dwarf. I like if you've seen all of Red Dwarf but haven't seen the new stuff on Dave, I genuinely recommend the most recent few seasons. My favourite Red Dwarf joke is a modern Red Dwarf joke
Oh.
from the episode Father and Sons.
I haven't seen much of the new stuff. I sort of fell out of it.
It's some of it's occasionally a little bit janky, but there's some stuff in there that is genuinely really fucking good, and they've done interesting stuff with Rimmer as well.
Maybe.
Yeah, Red Dwarf's genuinely fucking great. And people saying Porridge. Porridge is a fucking incredible show, but Porridge is, I don't think Americans will like it. I think it's a very different kind of show, and I think it takes a bit of knowledge and knowing that time and stuff and because Porridge, you'll have an episode where it's one shot, one scene, and that's not special episodes. That's just how it was written.
My love's Blackadder. my love is just.
But not the first season.
No, but I don't really count that. It feels like a different fucking show.
Yeah.
But you kind of have to. I mean, I think, Blackadder 3 is always my favorite, but I like 4 because it's actually got fucking Fry in properly.
Yeah.
I love Hugh Laurie so fucking much. He's so funny.
Yeah.
And it's just.
Quirkstrut, I'm not a huge Open All Hours fan. I think it's his weakest stuff. It's Ronnie Barker's weakest things.
Did you like Keeping Up Appearances?
Yeah, it was quaint, but it wasn't my thing.
No, I've just got it built into my brain that anyone says bucket, I say no, it's bouquet, and I just can't get it out.
I do that as well. Yeah, in the same way that because I've seen so much Morecambe Wise, anytime somebody coughs, I go Arsenal.
Yeah.
Can't remember where that came from in that show, but that's the thing that I always do.
It's one of those things that sort of permeated British culture to a point that kind of everyone sort of forgot where it came from, but they just sort of do it.
Yeah.
Except
if you don't see Morecambe Wise is fucking great.
Oh, excellent, yeah.
They're my favorite. They're my favorite like comedians of that era.
Someone just said Black Box. I mean, Black Box is excellent, but I don't think it's very British. Does that make sense?
I think it's very Irish. Yeah.
Yeah, it's got this sort of. I love Black Box, but it's not. It's definitely a British comedy, but it doesn't have this Britishness to it, especially like something like Only Fools and Horses has. You know, or Vic.
No, and the first season of Black Books is quite trash in many places. But it gets a lot better and it gets a lot weirder, and the weirder it gets, the better it gets, and the more that what's his face, Bernard Black, Dylan Moran, the more that Dylan Moran writes, the better it gets.
Yes. But
isn't Black Books written by the really awful dude? The first series is. And it's co-written by that really awful dude, but he leaves.
It's all on Prime, which is... I was going to do a watch party on Black Box at some point because I wanted to remake all the GIFs in high quality.
It's all on Prime. I love Black Books.
Oh, that's why... I think the nice thing about Black Books is because it's very... It's what, 18 episodes in total, and that's just it. And it's very condensed, and you don't really...
British TV in a nutshell. Someone said, what about Castle? I'm like, I mean, we've got whole series that fit in one series of Castle. You know, my favorite Black Books one is Bernard Street is Taxes. I love that bit.
The problem I always have,
and yeah, Arthur Matthews wrote most of it.
The thing I have rewatching like Fools and Horses, for example, is it's long to rewatch it all. I think, and that's kind of why I haven't really rewatched it in modern times. But when you, like Blackadder or Black Books, it's like, you know, the three series of 6 episodes each. You know, quite nice and just compact.
Yeah. Zedman 2K14 says anything Rowan Atkinson is just the best. Have anybody here seen the film The Tall Guy?
Sorry, can we just briefly? Akabi just said the whole series is 18 episodes. No. Each season is 6 episodes. There's 3.
Yeah, no, that's the whole series. The series is everything.
I enjoy the American thing where it's like, because that'd be like what, 1 season of an American show.
Yeah,
that's the entire run of a British show. Because you don't have to say the welcome.
Just think, because it's 26 episodes, Red Dwarf's first 7 series would make up 1 series.
Yeah, God, yeah.
But no, so yeah, Matt, have you ever seen The Tall Guy?
I'm gonna have to look it up.
Read the cast of The Tall Guy and tell me you don't want to see it.
Tall Guy, that is... Oh! Goldblum, Rowan Atkinson, Thompson.
Jeff Goldblum, Emma Thompson, Rowan Atkinson, written by Richard Curtis.
I've seen Rowan Atkinson in that outfit before, and I feel like I've clearly seen a bit of that movie at some point, but I've never watched it.
It's a very good movie. It has the best sex scene in any movie. It's a very funny sex scene.
Okay.
How do you remember all these names? I'm old, and also I'm very good at No More Jockeys.
No, and Daniel's really good at this kind of stuff. I am not. That's why I'm Googling everything, even if I know it. I'm terrible with names. I sort of have to see a picture of the fucking show before I get it.
Yeah.
That's why I'm looking through my fucking... I mean, in my thing, I've got British shows that I actually own. Blackadder, Blackfoot Box, IC Crowd, fucking Mr. Bean. Mr. Bean's very pure.
I love Mr. Bean.
It's just so
Matt
pure.
fell in love with Emma Thompson during the junior watch party.
No, I'm already in love with Emma Thompson. It's just...
I am. I'll fucking fight you for her.
Oh, God, Emma Thompson. I was looking her up just to see if she's not a dick, and she just is so... socially active as well. It's not like she's full SJW. And I'm like, oh my God, Emma Thompson, let me marry you. Like, oh, beautiful. I've got Green Wing. I've got Father Ted.
I never liked Father Ted. I don't like shows that are very grimy like that.
Mm.
I think there's like it didn't feel like a place you ever wanted to come anywhere near. Like Black Books didn't really, but it was sort of Manny was trying to make the best of it, and Bernard's kind of a funny dick and all that. But Father Ted just felt like a horrible, miserable situation,
I think
and I just didn't find it very funny.
I have a weird thing with both Father Ted and also Mrs. Brown's Boys. Because like
I don't hate Mrs. Brown's Boys.
I don't either. I think it's kind of trashy, but I don't hate it.
I'm going to apologise now. I've watched some bits of it. When they break, because they break character and stuff through it, because it is filmed in front of an audience. I just think that's all right. I think it's quite funny.
The first season of Mrs. Brown's Boys, one from 2011, I own, and I actually think it's quite funny. And I also
I remember watching it quite early on as well, but it's got a lot of heart to it. They do push that, and it's not going to be a patch on anything else. But I think there's worse shows for people to like.
Something I enjoy about Mrs. Brown's
Bernard
Boys is
Bernard, look.
I'm an alien, a sex robot from the future.
I'm a robot prostitute from the future.
Excellent. So Mrs. Brown's Boys, right? So one of the things I like about Mrs. Brown's Boys is I find it very nostalgic because I'm from Dublin. My nan's house in Dublin was a terrace house in Dublin. Looked exactly like that. That's how my nan dressed, right? All the characters in Mrs. Brown's Boys are people I have known in my life. So there's something very. I attached that, and I remember me and my dad used to sit up, sort of watching Mrs. Brown's Boys and laughing because we sort of had this association with it. And, you get all these Catholic jokes.
Sorry. Fuzzy Murder Mitten says favorite American show, Stargate SG-1. That's a Canadian show, and Canadians in chat are about to fucking rip you to shreds. So stay back. It's fine. I forgive you, Fuzzy Murder Mittens, but I believe it is a heavily Canadian show.
Got him. Oh, we haven't mentioned Fleabag.
Well, we don't need to mention Fleabag because Fleabag's the best modern TV show.
Yeah. Just want to make sure we cover a basis there.
I think like TV, you can sort of measure with these milestones of it, and I think Breaking Bad was the milestone for a long time.
Yeah.
But I think Fleabag is the next.
Especially in comedy, especially in comedy.
I think in everything. I think Fleabag is perfect television. 2 seasons, it's done.
That's so clever. God, people were just so good.
It's set in America. It's set in Cheyenne Mountain, but it's a Canadian thing. Doctor Who's set in London and it's fucking Welsh.
That's a good point.
What about My Family? My Family wasn't very good, but I was very young when it was on, so I did enjoy it. Because everyone was like, "Hi, you look like the boy in My Family," and I'm like, "Good, this is going to be awful." And then he came out as gay, and I'm like, "Good, that's going to be great for my fucking school life."
Oh my god! Did you ever? What did you think of My Hero? Was it My Hero?
My Hero is one of my fuck it, I like that show. It's fucking trash.
It is.
I love how stupid it is and how it doesn't work and how it's just the most weird thing. But then they got rid of Adel Hannah and replaced him with James Dreyfus, and it was absolutely fucking shit.
Well, yeah, I don't really remember any of the bits I got off Dougal, because
yeah, you get rid of Adel Hannah. What's the fucking point of it?
What's the fucking appeal? Oh, I loved Hugh Dennis. I just think he's great in everything he's in.
Yeah, that might be my first sort of look at Hugh Dennis. And then of course in Outnumbered, where he's absolutely at his peak, and in Fleabag, where he's absolutely at his peak. Thoughts on Leslie Nielsen? I love Leslie Nielsen. If you ever want to laugh, go look up Leslie Nielsen and his fart machine. Funniest shit. I mean, it's puerile, but it's so funny. I mean, oh my goodness.
I'm so sad he wasn't in more stuff. Sad he wasn't in more films, because the Naked Gun films and Airplane are just.
We just watched all of Police Squad.
Yeah.
She's really good.
He's so good. He's such a good physical actor as well.
Do you like Not Going Out Miranda? I've never really seen Not Going Out, and I did unfortunately watch Miranda, and I wasn't a fan. Are you a Mel Brooks fan? I'm kind of a Mel Brooks fan. I think Mel Brooks is a bit all over the place, but I think I like stories about Mel Brooks better than Mel Brooks. Like Ross Noble talking about working with Mel Brooks, I think is more fun than. I mean, the start of Robin Hood Men in Tights, where they're telling him to fuck off, I think is quite fun. I love that. That's a great film. What other Robin Hood films start on a rap?
That's a very, very. That's such a specific thing. I feel like I've got through Mel Brooks trailer just once. He played Hitler once.
Yes, that's about right.
Yeah, Peeping Times. All right.
Didn't Police Squad have those excellent freeze frames which are part? Yeah, at the end of every episode, some characters would freeze frame, then other characters were kind of like, "What? What do I do? Do I freeze frame? Oh my god, what do I do?" It's very silly.
I like very silly shit like
we're
that.
We're men in tights. We're men, manly men.
One of the things that was weird when me and Rebecca were watching Basketball, the guy who wrote Basketball was the writer of Airplane, or was one of the co-writers was writer of Airplane. That's why all those random gags in the background. Because it's just and I was like, oh, that's very Airplane. It's like, no, yeah, yeah.
Zedman, I love Life on Mars. I can't stand Ashes to Ashes. So me and Rebecca watched all of Life on Mars, and we really liked it. And then I remember watching one episode of Ashes to Ashes and being like, this was awful. Why did I hate this? And then you watch the first episode of Ashes to Ashes and go, oh, it's awful. There's a bit like Life on Mars is really great, gripping, thrilling 70s cop drama. And in the first episode of Ashes to Ashes, Gene Hunt, the no good fucking badass police officer, doesn't take no shit and bends the book, but is always on the right side of the law, moonwalks to dodge bullets. And you just go, no, you fucked it. You fucked it. Absolutely fucked it. Have I seen Goodnight Sweetheart? I've never seen it, but it's I'm aware of how much Richard Herring hates it.
Of course you are. Of course you are. I feel like
Favorite actor, Alan Alda, because of MASH. Because MASH was a very important part of me growing up and stuff. My favorite actor to play the Doctor, nobody asked. Oh, it's Adrian Lester.
See, this is the thing I realised. I only remember watching TV when I was quite young. And it was a very short period where I was watching TV live when it was on. And I just missed it. I skipped over a lot of it.
Yeah.
And I'm jealous of you for having a lot more TV knowledge.
There's nothing else to do, Matt. There was no internet, you know.
No, I fucking have it.
Have I seen Luther? I've never seen Luther. Isn't Luther thingy from The Office? He's in only like 5 episodes and he's a dick.
I don't know if you'd like Luther. It's cool, but I don't know if you'd like it.
Who's also, I can't remember his name. I'm blanking on his name.
Are you?
Idris Elba.
Yes,
thank you.
There we
Idris
go.
Elba.
I didn't realise you were blanking on his name. I don't think he's in The Office. Is he?
Yeah, doesn't he turn up in The Office? He's the guy who comes in.
It's been a while since we watched The Office.
When Michael goes and make the Michael Scott Paper Company, and he's in there, and I know it must be him because there's a bit where Kevin makes him laugh. You'll see him massively corpse in the background. There's basically he goes hi there, and he starts talking, and after a little bit of him talking, Kevin goes hi, and he corpses like he completely breaks, and they had to use that take because it's kind of all they had. But that's one of my favorites. The Office.
I don't remember.
No, Luther. That's the one? So the BBC commissioner recently was like, it should have more diversity in it. Like he should hang out with more black people and eat Jamaican food.
Yeah, oh my god.
And I was like, oh fuck.
There's a good Red Nose Days Luther sketch, which I remember.
I've never really seen Luther.
He walks in, he's got a chicken, and then like fucking Lenny Henry walks in wearing the exact same clothes, and it's like his brother, and he's like trying to diagnose why the chicken was killed. And then someone else walks in, he's all dressed as Luther, and they're all just talking about how the chicken was murdered, and like really deadpan. I'm not sure if you'd like it. It's very drama-y and very slow. It's good. Idris Elba's great, but
did anybody ever watch Reaper? Reaper. Oh yeah, that's a weird one. I think that was only like 2 series. American show. Anybody in chat? No.
Reaper. 2007 to 2009.
Cobra Boy UK says, do you think there will be a Community movie? Yes, I think there will, but I think it'll be a long time from now. Some people have seen it. So Reaper was a show about the devil.
Oh, Ray Wise is in it as the devil.
Yes, Ray Wise playing the devil. He was wonderful in it, and he's the devil, and he has some parent. This kid's parents made a deal with the devil, and he gets the boy's soul when he turns like whatever age, and then he's got to do work for the devil and stuff. And it's angels and demons, and it's quite fun.
That sounds good.
And it ends on a cliffhanger. Fuck me.
See, a show that you haven't watched that I really fucking like is Nathan For You. I think Nathan For You is brilliant. Never
seen it.
I know it's got that sort of. It's kind of cringe humor, but in this, he's so fucking deadpan, like aggressively deadpan, doing ridiculous things. In this sort of, it's very clever. It gets really ridiculous by the end, where he just does this entire, like he just turns into a completely different show. But it's very good, Nathan For You. It's very good.
I've got to do a throwback series where I play my most of your games. I want to do just NerdCube Gold channel where we re-upload them so you can subscribe to it and then get like a random old NerdCube video in your inbox every now and
I wonder
then.
if there's a way to automate with just re-uploading every video to a different channel. There probably is.
There will not because it's YouTube and that makes a thing. Oh, Dead Like Me I quite enjoyed. That was the girl who got killed by a toilet, wasn't it? Was that the episode where Jules Day gets like plowed and I was like, oh my god, this is too much for me. She's too innocent. It's Kaylee Frey, what the fuck? No? Anyone?
Mm.
No? Okay. Do I like the In-Betweeners? No, I fucking hate the In-Betweeners. I hate the In-Betweeners because it just reminds me of high school, which was, of course, the worst time.
It's annoyingly accurate to British high school.
Yeah, and it's horrible.
Yeah, it's time you want to forget, I think.
I didn't watch Good Omens. I kind of... I love my the cast, but it was just a bit all over the shop for me. It felt... Yeah. Would you have to brand the channel as DadCubed after a few years? Yeah, I think DadCube's a better name for it.
That's a good joke.
Have I seen Dairy Girls? Yeah, I love Dairy Girls. Dairy Girls is a great show.
Fantastic Dairy Girls.
Yeah, I really enjoy Dairy Girls. That's one of the ones. I bothered to watch that with adverts. That's how much I like that.
Yeah, same. Fucking hell.
Yeah,
with the Channel
that's how good
4
that
fucking
Yep.
an advert every fucking 5 seconds, 5 minutes long
Yep.
every time.
And it's worth it.
They've
Good
got Channel
show.
4's thing now. You can pay like £2 a month and it gets rid of the ads in Channel 4's app.
Oh, wow.
Which
I
is
go for that.
yeah, it's very good.
Yeah.
Which is like terrifying. Up there was a bit of Nathan for You where they make a box to put your kids in when you want to have an orgy in the same room. Yes, it's a terrible sound. That is something they do, and they do arrange an orgy with some kids in a box next to it.
Oh, good.
It's
lovely.
It is just like Nathan's just stood there in a suit the whole time. Just it's got that sort of like, you know, that Sacha Baron Cohen edge which he kind of when he's being deadpan.
Yeah.
It's kind of that, but all deadpan. It's the whole thing. It's really I mean, there's that one where they get like he goes with his fake business advice, and like he's just like, oh, you know, you want more people to buy gas? Well, make your gas, you know, advertise it as this price with rebate, but then we make the rebate as hard as possible to get, and they put it like on top of a mountain, and they have to put the box physically deliver it, but then he ends up hiking with a load of people trying to get the rebate, and then like they're singing around the campfire, and it becomes this ridiculous thing where he learns about a load of random people's lives who are like climbing up a mountain to put their rebate in for their gasoline, and it just gets so ridiculous from this simple thing, and everyone trusts him because they think he's an actual professional like show, but he's just pulling the piss out of them. And he made a actual successful line of clothing out of the show to fight against anti-Semitism and Holocaust denial. Good for Nathan. Good for him. Good boy.
Good for that guy.
Yeah.
I think it's time to wrap the stream up because we've been going for 9 hours, 20 minutes.
Oh, neat. How many minutes is that in total?
It was nice chat. I think we got the energy back in the room as a nice finale.
Yeah. Yeah.
By actually having something to do.
By not talking about E3.
By not talking about E3.
560 minutes.
Not bad. So that was a small podcast we enjoyed doing. I think that was a nice sort of thing.
Nathan for you, Monkey DJ.
I guess today's E3 thing kind of sucked. Yeah, it wasn't what we kind of wanted. I was disappointed by it. The wholesome gaming one's still been my highlight.
Excellent. Oh, God, I want to buy every one of those bits.
And upload this bit to YouTube. No, this bit is one of those bits that's never making it to YouTube. Matt, this bit's not allowed to go to YouTube.
I haven't been putting any of these E3 streams on YouTube.
Good. Oh, yeah, we can't.
Yeah. Yeah.
Hooray!
Stream stuff is... There should always be some exclusive stream stuff, I think.
Are you planning anything with John? Yeah, we're bringing the podcast back.
Soon, TM, etc.
What?
I said soon, TM, etc.
Yeah, soon. We got a plan for it. We're going to paywall it.
Yeah,
viciously. It's going to be on the $100 tier.
Yeah. And and everyone who does it, we do a personal podcast for you.
Yeah. You have to be subscribed to both mine and John's, and we give half the frames on mine and then half the frames on his, and you have to edit the videos together yourself.
He's such a piss.
That's not that far away from what we're actually going to do. But anyway, an idea with the wrap-up videos will be up tomorrow. Oh, not until the late night, if not the morning of the next day, because I've got to write them and record them, and there's 3 to do.
Yeah, I mean, they don't take too long to edit. I managed to do those 2 earlier today in like 2 hours all in. And I imagine they'll still take a little longer. But...
4 hours to write the fucking thing.
Yeah, so not too.
I set up a rhyme for the word orange at one point. If you want to know how fucking tired I am.
Eminem did that. And
Yeah,
that
but
was
he's
the
a good-
tutorial.
he's
That
a
you can
good-
ride the red orange.
He's a good guy, isn't he?
Good guy. It'll become M&M. That's it.
I
If you
fancy
rank-
eating some M&Ms.
I feel sick. I've eaten too many fucking fig rolls.
Fig rolls. Right, I'm gonna go to bed.
Yeah, me too.
That was. Would I do one for future game show? No.
Fuck
I mean,
off.
honestly, I might not even do one for the PC gaming show. I don't think there was any. Was there anything in the PC gaming show?
No.
Honestly, Square Enix was so short. I might just put Square Enix and the PC gaming show in one, and then just talk about the fuck all that was in the PC gaming show.
I mean, you could do this great for literally a 30-second video. I think that'd be fine. That'd be fine. We'll figure it out.
I'll work something out. Maybe I'll keep it in there. Gabe Newell turned up and announced fuck all, which is what people did this year. This was the year of people turning up and announcing fuck all.
Sure was.
But anyway, thanks for coming out. 689 people that are still watching this.
So I don't want to raid.
It's been fun. Everybody who subscribed and given to at least and stuff, thank you. I will spend that money on drugs.
No, you won't. I want to see if anyone to raid very quickly.
Actually, I think I've got an idea. Yeah, I don't think it is. Anyone streaming?
Felicia Day is streaming, and that's it. Where's Felicia
We were
Day?
talking about. She's in Eureka.
Is she?
Yeah.
She's playing Fortnite.
Oh, don't bother then. Nobody here wants to watch that. Nobody here wants to watch that. By the way, just go. Everyone, just go and watch The Lost Room or Better Off Ted. Better Off Ted, I think. Bob Ross is streaming. Do I not follow Bob Ross?
Does Bob Ross need the raid? Just think.
Wait, hang on. Let me. Bob Ross. Is he streaming? Is he streaming? Oh, he's live. Hang on, I want to follow him because I actually want to watch Bob Ross. Right, let's raid Bob Ross. Raid Bob Ross.
Oh yeah,
raid
I can't wait for Bob Ross to notice the raid.
It might be a while, but
Yeah.
he's making a lovely man. He's so good at shit that he does.
Well, are you doing that or am I doing that?
I'll do it. I'll do it now. I'm gonna set a raid. We're gonna raid Bob Ross, and we're gonna all be kind and have a nice chill. It's basically for the people who fell asleep listening to this. This is gonna give them a nice. It won't work. This is gonna give them a nice. It's just throwing up an error. This is gonna give them a nice.
You can't raid Bob Ross. You're not allowed. He's one of the few channels you're not allowed to raid on Twitch. I remember.
All right, I'm sending you Felicia Day's way.
I remember this.
Felicia Day was in Eureka. We were talking about Eureka. Fuck it. I like to pass the
So I tell her,
blame.
be like, bring. Oh, fuck it. I don't know.
Just, I don't know, go watch Felicia Day play Fortnite. She's fucking great.
I mentioned how good Eureka is, probably. Was Eureka good? Was that one of the ones you said was good?
Eureka was great. I think she was in it. Anyway, but...
I can imagine that. You think so? Okay. Bye, everyone. Uh-oh.